affordable import. Are we live?
All right.
Great.
And you playing the launch, right?
You'll be busy.
If I send the link? Okay.
See you one. You're on here. Really nice. That's bad.
I love everything about how it renders skin tones. You can see every single eyelash.
With filmmaking, it's fantastic. You can use it on a small gimbal, handheld. I can actually film 8K RAW internally.
This camera is packed with the technology of the Z9 and more.
The Z8 totally revolutionized the way that I make my images.
It's everything any filmmaker could ask for.
The Nikon Z8 is the most phenomenal camera that Nikon has ever launched, and I think it's going to be a huge moment in Nikon's history.
The Z8 is the perfect follow-up to the Z9 and a true successor to the D850. The concept behind this hybrid camera is performance, usability, image quality, and handling all in a compact, lightweight form factor. A form factor that'll excite photographers and videographers shooting portraits, weddings, landscapes, indie films, video productions, wildlife, sports, and more. Equipped with Nikon's most powerful image processing engine, most advanced autofocus system, the industry's fastest full-frame electronic shutter, a 45.7 megapixel stacked CMOS sensor, and a blackout-free viewfinder, the Z8 embodies professional performance. That means sharper, crisper images, ultra-high resolutions, fast frame rates, files with extraordinary details and natural colors that make post-production work a dream. All that in a body that is 30% lighter and smaller than the Z9 and even 15% smaller than the D850. And if you shoot video, not only does this camera record in 8K 60p 12-bit RAW, but also 10-bit ProRes 422 all in camera.
Oh, again, 12-bit RAW. Oh, guys, another.
Closer to us or further back?
The eye tracking is sick. Like, that was awesome.
Wow, this looks so pretty. Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's put the writing through there.
You can change white balance while I'm recording. You can even change the shift.
The light's on right now.
low light and there's a shadow and it's still catching her eye. See this arrow? If I decided I wanted to focus on
rack
him,
focus to him.
it would rack focus to him, but I want to keep it on her for now. So pretty, isn't it?
Yes, perfect. That's it.
Today, we celebrate a story of love, but not just any story. This is your
Remember when
story.
the Z9 dropped, it was like a whole year people waiting before the orders started.
5 years ago, we stood together.
We made promises
Nikon
and kept them.
$60
Life happened and we
pre-order
held them
that
tight.
is not allowed.
Lucky me, we keep
That
dancing.
was annoying. People switched to other systems because of that one.
After all these years, you continue to be the most honest, constant, peaceful, and beautiful partner I could ever dreamed of.
Carlos. You make me so incredibly happy. I love our life. I love you, Carlos.
Sierra Night.
I love you, Annabelle. Thank you for all the love, laughs, and peace you bring to our life.
From 5 years ago until now and forever,
I still do.
I still do.
No? Was?
Your hearts are each other's dance partner, so may they continue to beat and dance forever.
I look ahead to our future, and I am so excited I get to experience all that life has to offer with you.
Audio again.
From tracking and hit rate and subject detection to low light accuracy, the Z8 is equipped with the same powerful autofocusing system as the Z9. Using Nikon's proprietary deep learning algorithms, the autofocusing system continues to evolve, becoming more sophisticated through constant development. Z9 owners will recognize this with the multiple firmware updates available to them, adding entirely new features and improvements. Subject detection is so intelligent that it can identify 9 different types of subjects and track them with precision. This ranges from humans, animals, bikes, motorbikes, cars, trains, and now planes. Users of the Z8 don't have to manually push an individual focus point to lock on and compose their subject. Instead, the Z8 will make a focus point bigger or smaller on the subject and even narrow down the point when it detects heads or eyes. The Z8's powerful combination of subject detection and 3D tracking allows you to easily capture fast, erratically moving subjects such as birds, planes, and people, and keeps them in sharp focus. And those working in low light settings or night scenarios will appreciate that the Z8 can detect focus up to -7 EV. Couple that with starlight view mode and the camera can focus in a jaw-dropping -9 EV. And well, this creates new opportunities for photographers and videographers who shoot weddings, indoor sports, sunrises, night skies, and epic landscapes.
That's a nice touch.
Welcome to my office. Let's go. I'm Mike Measurable II. I'm a landscape and extreme nature photographer. My passion takes me across the world in search of nature's wildest scenes and most beautiful landscapes.
That's overkill. Like, he did not understand
The new Nikon Z8 introduces an opportunity for landscape photographers to fully unleash their creativity, confidently work in difficult situations, and bring their camera into limitless locations. For my job, I need a camera that is versatile, compact, and capable of creating within all elements of nature. The compact size and weight allows me to carry more gear, explore tighter locations, hike to remote places, and even document the world from above. The Z8 features Nikon's incredible 5-axis in-body image stabilization, giving me the capability to create tack-sharp images in even the most unstable conditions. As the day fades to night, the Z8 provides endless functionalities for night photography. From illuminated back buttons, digital displays on S-series lenses, dual USB-C ports, and warm tone illumination combined with starlight view, I have no trouble achieving sharp images and perfect compositions for night sky work. While out shooting in nature, having a camera that can withstand the elements is absolutely key. The Z8 continues to carry on the legacy of Nikon's incredible weather sealing. When it comes to video, the capabilities of the Z8 don't hold back. Videographers now have the ability to shoot up to an astounding 60 frames per second in 8K and up to 120 frames per second in 4K, all while taking advantage of Nikon's NRAW and NLOG profiles. Having the ability to see what you're shooting makes all of the difference in a frame, and the Z8's articulating screen allows me to do just so. Having spent my career traversing the world in search of nature's beauty and always having a Nikon camera in my hand, the Z8 continues to provide nothing but the utmost confidence in capturing every moment out there. Oh, yes! This is what it's all about.
Traditionally, interchangeable lens cameras will have a mechanical shutter curtain, and the purpose of this curtain is to open to let light hit the sensor and close to keep light out. But with Nikon innovations in image processing and sensor design, we were able to eliminate this mechanical shutter, relying exclusively on an electronic shutter that's built into a full-frame stacked CMOS sensor with the world's fastest scan rate. What does this mean? Well, virtually no internal moving parts, no wear and tear on the shutter, the ability to shoot up to 1/32,000th of a second, and the shutter is absolutely silent. The Z8's 45 megapixel backside illuminated CMOS sensor provides impressive detail even in low light, giving you the flexibility to shoot at higher ISOs when the situation demands. What's also flexible is your output options. Not only do you have the conventional 14-bit RAW and 8-bit JPEG file formats, but also 2 new additions for people looking to maximize the quality of their images while minimizing the size of their files. First is the 14-bit high-efficiency RAW, which retains the outstanding image quality of traditional RAW at approximately a third the file size. Wedding and event photographers, as well as sport shooters tasked with capturing hundreds or even thousands of shots on the job, will benefit from this groundbreaking RAW compression technology. And second is 10-bit HEIF, a first for Nikon cameras. This file format retains richer tonal gradation than JPEG with increased luminance at a comparable file size. Basically, a broader dynamic range that can be viewed on HLG-compatible TVs and PQ-compatible computer monitors and devices. This is great for all kinds of photography, including landscapes and portraiture. It's also great for making 8K HLG time-lapse videos in camera. To make sure your photos are tack sharp, the Z8's autofocus system is so sophisticated it can track the eyes of people, pets, and birds even when they're small in the frame. Couple that with the many AF area mode options, and you can designate specific areas in your frame where you want the autofocus to identify your subjects. And the Z8 has some new features for portrait photographers. Portrait impression balance gives you simple control over hues and brightness levels to fine-tune skin tones. Skin softening uses the Z8's intelligent deep learning algorithm to make skin look best while keeping eyes and hair tack sharp. And improved white balance gives you more manual control for making subtle adjustments to your baseline color.
You know, ain't it? How you roll the audio?
One of the things that is very important to me while photographing a wedding is the documentary aspect of the storytelling. I'm capturing moments that cannot be scripted. I'm capturing moments that rarely ever happen ever again.
And what I want you to do with your arms, right? That just every so often, if you just feel the need to just yes.
When Nikon asked me to try out the Z8, I was first of all extremely ecstatic. Having come from shooting so many different Nikon cameras, the Z8 brings so many different bits and pieces from every single camera and puts it into this one very small body. So obviously, as an image maker, and particularly these days, you're bombarded with so much in terms of inspiration. Everywhere you're going out, you see images everywhere. You are reacting to the scenes that you are inspired by. So the technology that is packed inside the Z8 allows you as an image creator to focus purely on the art as opposed to fiddling too much on settings on the camera. The camera does so much for you that it even takes things to another level in terms of creativity. The main two things I look for in a camera are weight and speed of use. And I say weight in the sense that it's very important to me that I have something that I can just whip out to capture a particular scene at any time. The speed of use is really important to me because I don't want to have to think. I'm capturing very, very fast moments. I want a situation where I can just pick up a camera, take a shot, and boom. There are two main features that I am very, very much blown away by. The first one is focus. I've never worked with a camera that actually does the focus for you. I can just lift the camera up and it already knows what I want it to focus on. I love the fact that you can flip the screen up and put the camera out. I want to take a picture. I don't have to press the viewfinder all the time. I just tap the part of the frame I want in focus, and it does all the work for you in terms of finding the focus in that space. One of the great things about the camera is its ability to pick up those essential parts in the scene that will sort of bring the story of the scene into the image. Most of the clients that I work with choose these places because they have some sort of connections to them. I think sometimes creators sometimes miss the beauty of these connections. But if you can kind of capture the scene with a camera that is capable of capturing a whole array of light, and also being able to light those scenes in the way that you would like to light them as well, you can always create some really, really great stuff with them. My name is Jide Alakija. I'm the principal photographer of Alakija Studios, and I am a proud Nikon ambassador.
Conventional mirrorless systems capturing 10 or 12-bit video often require the addition of large external devices, which in turn require their own power, storage media cords, and rigs to attach. But not the Z8. The Z8 gives you the flexibility to shoot gorgeous full-frame 8K footage up to 60p and 4K footage up to 120p slow motion in camera, meaning no external device. This camera is built to be agile, allowing videographers to work more efficiently with a smaller setup and saves time and money. How so? With internal recording codecs that include 10-bit ProRes 422 HQ, 12-bit 8K NRAW, 12-bit 4K ProRes RAW HQ, and H.265, the Z8 eliminates the need for an external recording device and all the cables and rigging required to piece it all together. Instead, the Z8 records directly to the card slots built into the camera. Now you can hold the camera and move around more comfortably and smoothly, giving you the advantage of a lighter camera system when shooting handheld or on a gimbal with fewer cables and less setup time. The processing power of the Z8's X-Speed 7 engine is what makes this all possible. X-Speed 7 is 10 times faster than its predecessor
Needle.
and unleashes the
Yeah.
potential for more compelling video
How
making.
they only seen
From extreme resolutions
Calculate
without
me,
cropping
make it so
to
slow.
long continuous recording times in 8 and 4K, as well as fast, accurate focusing.
Huh?
Speaking of focusing, the Z8's face and eye detection is so good, it can detect and track eyes even with sunglasses on. And it's so accurate that it can detect faces that take up as little as 3% of the frame's longest side. This is especially useful when capturing environmental scenes with people. For example, when you want to keep a wedding couple in sharp focus within an expansive landscape. But even more impressive, it also means that videographers can lock in on a person approaching from a distance, keeping the focus on the subject running toward the camera. And just like when shooting photos, subject detection, which can identify and lock focus on humans, birds, pets, vehicles, and more, works in combination with a variety of focus area modes, including subject tracking, so you can be super confident that you're getting the most important part of the shot in sharp focus. Focus area modes are a big important part of the Z8's autofocus system, especially for video. Whether you're isolating a subject that you want to keep in focus, or you're getting creative with focus pulls, there are many variety of focus area options, including the ability to customize your own focus area space, giving you maximum freedom to compose shots any way you'd like. The Z8 is loaded with essential tools built into the camera specifically for the videographer. And these include a waveform monitor and zebra stripes for checking exposure. Focus peaking for confirming sharpness when manual focusing. Linear focus for consistency when rotating the focus ring. Custom AF speed and tracking settings. Fine ISO adjustments. Time code linking to an Atomos UltraSync Blue device. Raw proxy files for easier post-production and more. And rest assured, you'll always know when you're rolling because the LCD will show a red border anytime you're recording. And just a note for those of you who may be more familiar with manual focusing on non-Nikon video systems, the Z8 gives you the option to customize the direction of rotation of the focusing ring on the lenses as well as all the wheels on the camera. There are so many great features built into the Z8's video systems, it's impossible to mention them all here. The combination of power, performance, and compactness opens the door to so many great opportunities for videographers and hybrid shooters.
Hi, boy. Everything costs money. Every fucking thing costs money.
I'm Dixie Dixon. I'm a commercial fashion advertising photographer, film director, and Nikon ambassador.
My Nikon
based out
capsule
of
is
Dallas,
about
Texas.
15,000
When I
US.
picked up the Z8 from using the Z9 for about a year and a half, it was a seamless process. Everything was the same. The buttons were the same. And I think that really allowed me to go in and create what I needed to.
Even if I put my Z6 for sale, it's pointless. Z6 quality that comes out of that camera, in my opinion, like I did yesterday when I went to my watch the new video files, even though it's 8 bit, coming out of my 1.2. I'm like, yo, this is better than what I usually put on the market, like literally pound for pound. Well, I thought we was gonna redo over this.
It's very challenging when you're having to shoot both stills and video in the same production. But I found that the Z8 really makes it pretty seamless. It's definitely a challenge mentally because you got to think about moving images as opposed to just still images. It's a challenge that I'm definitely up for.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
Having a hybrid type of camera for this type of production is it's everything. It's of most importance because when you're having to shoot stills and go from stills to immediately shooting video, this camera allows you to do so seamlessly. The body style, the ergonomics of this camera, smaller body style is really nice for video because you can throw it on a gimbal and get to work really quickly. And I really love the fact that you can also take high resolution stills from the actual video footage and they look exceptional.
And then bam, we saw the 500 after. Like
The
nobody saw that.
50 came in before the 500.
Oh, it was when they dropped the D6. There was a camera they dropped. And while he was watching the stream, they was like, wait, we have another camera. And then
D5.
So okay, was the D5 they had?
D5 and
then bam,
D500.
the 500 came up and it was like, wow. Nobody saw that coming. There was no leaks. There was literally nothing.
Yeah, but it was totally completely
correct.
Having a camera with a sensor that achieves the world's fastest scanning speed and a processor that's just pure power opens up so many doors when it comes to high speed and fast action shooting. Following in the footsteps of the Z9, the Z8 carries over all of the features that sports, action, and wildlife photographers crave.
Personally,
from ultra-fast frame rates to precision autofocusing and a blackout-free viewfinder. While raw images can be taken at 20 frames per second for more than 1,000 frames per burst, JPEGs can be taken at unheard of frame rates from 20, 30, 60, all the way up to 120 still frames per second. This means that your odds of landing the decisive shot are much, much greater, whether it's a bird in flight or a peak action moment at a sporting event. And to take things even further, the Z8 has a pre-release capture mode that starts shooting a full second in advance of fully pressing the shutter release button, making those decisive moments even easier to catch at 120 frames per second. So while you're tracking the subject, you want to photograph the camera is temporarily storing photos in the buffer, just in case you weren't quick enough to press the shutter release button when the action actually happens.
When I held your R5,
the Z8 is also incredibly reliable handheld. It's equipped with a 5-axis image stabilization system that keeps things sharp.
I loved it, and
coupled with select Z-series lenses with optical VR built in, the Z8's Synchro VR feature will activate, achieving an effect equivalent to 6 stops of image stabilization. And to ensure you're keeping an eye on the peak action, the Z8's truly blackout-free real-live viewfinder gives you a what you see is what you get experience with no skipped frames or loss of view during fast, continuous burst shooting. Imagine the advantage you now have when panning and following erratically moving subjects.
I'm hearing you, though.
Good hit, Seneca! The Z8 is awesome. The autofocus is tracking perfectly.
That's insane.
I love the versatility of this camera. The size of this makes it so easy to maneuver. I'm able to use a super wide angle lens all the way up to a 400 millimeter on a monopod, and it works great. What I'm finding is the Z8 really is a hybrid camera that makes no compromises. The compact form factor makes it perfect to use in the studio, especially in situations just like this.
We can get right up into her eye and see the outline of every single one of her lashes. And the other thing that's impressive is how the skin tones hold. Like no highlights are blown out.
This camera really is a jack of all trades. The shots at 45 megapixels as still, and then a flick of a switch, and I'm able to shoot video, capturing 4K at 120. For someone like me who's not a video expert, having all of this really makes this a hybrid camera that someone like me can use.
Anything ready?
Today we're on set making a short film with a small crew and 2 incredible athletes as our talent. We've got a full day. We're shooting day to night, really testing the limits of the Z8 as a video camera. Shooting in various frame rates in different locations and multiple lighting situations, all with different color temperatures. It has been incredible.
Got it. That's a wrap.
This is a cutting-edge camera. But what's a camera without the backing of a strong lens system? Today, the Z platform has dozens of optically advanced lenses, including 2.8 zooms, f1.2 primes, super telephotos, macros, compact lenses, and more. The quality and performance of these lenses truly come to life when paired with the extraordinary sensor and image processing engine of the Z8. From Nikon's widest lens at 14 millimeters to the longest at 800 millimeters, technically 1600 when you add a teleconverter, the ever-growing lineup of sophisticated, optically superior Nikkor Z lenses offers clear and tack-sharp rendering performance, even at maximum apertures.
180 to 600.
Z-series cameras are built with the largest full-frame mount in the industry, along with the shortest flange distance. The advantage? Nikkor Z lenses can gather substantially more light, perform at greater resolutions, and remain sharp to the edges of the frame, all while suppressing distortion. Image aberrations are more likely to occur with lenses on smaller mounts that require light to travel through a smaller space to reach the sensor. At the pinnacle of the Nikkor Z offering is the S line, Nikon's most advanced optics from resolution to performance to build quality. These include remarkable primes for portraits and video work, like the 85mm f1.2 and 1.8. Super telephotos for nature and sports, like 400mm 2.8 and 600mm f4, both with built-in teleconverters. And the essential trio of 2.8 lenses that cover a wide variety of applications. These, as well as all other S-line lenses, produce images with beautiful bokeh and sharp point light reproduction with virtually no focus breathing.
I'm hearing it now.
And if you're using these lenses to shoot videos, you'll be happy to know that the autofocus motors are silent and white color reproduction is consistent from lens to lens, making post-production more efficient when using multiple Nikkor Z lenses.
You hear it, right?
Now, if you're looking to switch to the Z-series mirrorless for the first time and you currently own Nikkor glass for your DSLR, Nikon offers an adapter called the FTZ2, which will allow you to connect any one of approximately 360 Nikon f-mount lenses to the Z8. There's no downgrade in image quality either, as the adapter is only there to recreate the distance between the sensor and the rear element of your lens. In fact, all of your lenses will work with the image stabilization system built into the camera, regardless of whether or not the lens has any. The adapter also has built-in contact points so that your lenses will communicate autofocus and exposure information back and forth with the camera. Finally, on the topic of optics, you may be wondering, since there's no mechanical shutter, what protects the sensor when changing lenses? Well, the Z8, like the Z9, has a sensor shield, which can be programmed to deploy when the camera is turned off, so that you can remove a lens safely while out in the elements.
Sensor shield, like you don't be what? That's something to change the lens. I'm a friend. I always change the lens.
Alright.
Imagine for flight, we're always on a high.
We don't need camera. And I don't need no camera. Don't want to be no camera. One phone. Use a phone.
Is it like 40 plus
you put sound inside of any of those camera. Alright. We didn't do a formal intro. Guys, what we did today is Nikon had their launch for the new Nikon Z8. We have Nikon aficionado and with this phone ambassador on the floor. Yeah, one of
Nikon Caribbean ambassador.
No, I'm not. So again, what we want to do is the live stream and stuff from the early days. I want to see and to our respective places where we were in the midst of the COVID. Now, we are but Ronnie, you're gonna do most of the talking because he's a Nikon guy anyway. I mean,
it's in your roots.
No, I don't forget my roots.
It's in your roots. How much pictures they have up with you holding a knife?
Well, I mean, if you want to call roots, I mean, Kunta Kinte and all that good stuff as It's fine, but me, I am.
I heard the audio is choppy.
Audio choppy?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, I saw that in the comments?
Yeah, well, somebody just hit me that. Big up, Shaz.
Okay.
When photography or videography is your livelihood or a serious passion, you want to make sure that your camera is as ergonomic and tough as it is powerful. Rest assured, build quality is at the core of Nikon craftsmanship. The Z8's compact yet robust body, along with the included ENEL15 series rechargeable lithium-ion battery, has been designed to work in freezing weather, rugged environments, and other extreme conditions. The front cover of the Z8's body is made from magnesium alloy to secure the image sensor with high precision and to allow heat dissipation. It also ensures mount rigidity when using super telephoto lenses. The back and top covers are made of a Cerebo P-series material, new from Teijin, a world-renowned Japanese manufacturer. Comparable to the strength of magnesium alloy, this lightweight material provides high impact resistance for the entire camera while reducing weight. Weather sealing is applied across the entire system, protecting the camera while working in harsh environments where dust and drip resistance is so important. And to protect the image sensor while traveling, the Z8 comes equipped with a VR lock mechanism that holds the sensor securely in place when powered off. This prevents the sensor from being jostled or misaligned. Designed with the ergonomics Nikon is known for, the Z8 is easy to operate with a deep, comfortable grip and buttons and dials intuitively laid out to allow for easy all-day operation. When you need more battery power, consider adding the MB-N12 battery grip. It also allows for more comfortable vertical shooting. The batteries inside this grip are hot swappable, so you'll never need to interrupt recording when a battery needs to be replaced.
That ugly grip.
At the back of the camera is the 4-axis vertical and horizontal tilting LCD.
But I mean,
it gives you freedom to work from a variety of angles that would otherwise be difficult. And when you're shooting vertically, all the menus and display information also vertically. Redundancy is a must for professional work and is a safety net for when scenarios can't repeat themselves. That's why the Z8 includes 2 card slots, a high-performance CF Express Type B slot, the industry-leading format for quickly writing heavy data to the card, long continuous bursts, and ultra-high-resolution 8K video, and an SD card slot which accepts more universally available cards and balances write speed with constant memory. The Z8 is also equipped with a variety of other pro-focused features like illuminated buttons, a full-size HDMI port, and dual USB-C ports, one for constant power delivery and the other for communication with external devices like the MCN10 remote grip. There's also built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth for wirelessly transferring images or tethering. A 10-pin accessory port, a dedicated focus mode button, 2 programmable function buttons at the front of the camera, and a 3rd programmable function button at the back. With the use of a third-party USB-C to Ethernet adapter, the entire network menu built into the Z8 will be unlocked, including an FTP protocol that can be used in conjunction with Nikon's NX Field multicam solutions.
Audio? Oh, no way. Yeah. You put it on money.
I'm very happy with what I'm
The Z8 offers a whole new experience for photographers and videographers who need powerful performance and a professional feature set in a camera that's compact and lightweight. With the same revolutionary sensor and image processing engine as the Z9, Nikon's most sophisticated autofocusing system, developed through deep learning and the most extraordinary image quality in details and resolution, the Z8 is built to create confidence and agility. Compact form factor, lightning fast burst speeds, pro build quality, compatibility with class-leading optics and internal storage media. This is what it means to be the ultimate hybrid camera.
Like we're
This
giving you
is what it
everything
means to
and
experience
thing,
Nikon performance
one body.
at its
That's
best.
one of it.
We hope you enjoyed this first look
That
at the
means
new
they can't have
Nikon
them when you're
Z8.
offering
Be sure to like and
about it.
subscribe if you want to
Because
continue seeing
then
more
what
content
that
like this.
means is between
For an
these
insider
two
peek at the Z8
and
in
the
action,
Z8, the
stick
only
around
there
for a
doesn't
special
come
behind-the-scenes look
essentially
from
the
Nikon ambassador, filmmaker, and photographer
video.
Jerry Guionis, which starts right now.
You start around into that issue.
Hi, I'm Jerry, Nikon ambassador,
when you
portrait,
have a
fashion,
budget,
wedding photographer, and
or
filmmaker.
necessarily.
And I'm so proud to be one of the first people in the world to
just-
photograph and film.
You compare your company.
Yeah, yeah. It inspires confidence. I mean,
Nikon, because the way they're doing this, new film to be dropping a camera every year.
Right.
People will be seeing Sony
It fit right in my hand, and the files that come out of this
next year. But when you
Sony is A1, bro.
no,
still
I'm saying is that
are exquisite.
no, I'm
Having menu items in the same
Small-
place, having buttons in the same place was really
proper
important.
style
If you're a
camera.
photographer and then
the
you flick that
E1.
switch, and now you can record motion, I don't feel like that filmmaking capability is actually an afterthought. If I was a filmmaker and decided to actually flick that switch and photograph stills,
what is
I
this
don't feel there's a compromise at all. They're
Maybe I better
independently
out of
incredible and
focus.
work
For sure.
beautifully in tandem.
Hold on,
The
what
fact
was
that
that?
we have Nikon's legendary optics is incredible. The 85mm f1.2, it is exquisite. There's a certain quality that goes with that f1.2 lens, that
Oh, so
gorgeous
you
shallow depth. It's perfect for
can't
filmmaking
do that
because
for
you
some, yeah?
usually want to
Somebody
shoot
was
with a
like
shallow depth
times
of field,
prime lens,
but
and
that
that's
shallow depth of field suits my style of photography perfectly. Also, the 50mm f1.2 works seamlessly and perfectly with the Nikon Z8, shooting with a macro lens, a 70 to 200mm lens, and what I believe is one of the most underrated lenses in the Nikon S series lens lineup is a 24 to I've been photographing for a very long time, and I still experience
Gotta do
so
a
much
separate.
joy. Now we're off. I want to publish my creativity. Will
in
Yeah, still
yeah,
there.
again, live is the audio.
it
Not
keep
yet.
up with everything that I want to produce? If I'm going to photograph with a brand new camera, the Z8, I'm going to have to push the camera to its limits and photograph the different genres that I do, so I know with confidence that when I speak to people that this is exactly what the camera can do. Are we going to get beautiful color? Are we going to get beautiful results in camera? Is it just going to keep up? Are we going to have a beautiful dynamic range? Are we going to have gorgeous files out of camera? Now, first of all, I've got to tell you about
I
my
screen?
short film. Now,
No,
the
I'm on
complexity of producing
Oh,
a
yeah.
film, well, where do you begin? What story are you going to tell? As Melissa and I were reminiscing about our incredible relationship and our journey so far,
Okay,
I thought, how cool would it be to tell the story about a couple's life together and all the milestones that come with it? So, falling in love, getting together, having a dog, quiet moments at home, getting married. We throw confetti on the bride and groom as they come out of their ceremony, having a baby. The child grows up, goes to school, graduates. All these different things gave me a perfect opportunity to test the capabilities of the camera. This story is a reflection of the love that I have for Melissa and the love that Melissa has for me. Now, we don't have children, we do have fur babies, and I'm very excited that Zoe, one of my fur babies, is featured in this short film. And one of my favorite shots of the whole shoot is Zoe running into the camera, and we're shooting at f1.2 at 4K, 120 frames a second. Lisa and Dylan are great friends of ours. I've actually photographed their wedding, and we use them as models for this story. When you think of a romantic night, you often think of candlelight or being by a campfire. Now, we have a fire pit at home, so we thought, let's turn a fire pit on. Let's have them in a quiet moment next to the fire pit with a beautiful glow of light on them. A quiet moment, nice and romantic. Because we have the power of the Z9 in a smaller body, that beautiful form factor of the Z8. With filmmaking, it's fantastic. You can use it on a small gimbal, on a small form factor slider. You can use it handheld. It's one of those cameras that's the perfect hybrid between photography and filming. The fact that I can actually film in 8K RAW internally up to 60 frames a second is unheard of. You'd normally use a monitor recorder or a separate device to do that. We actually shot the whole film 12-bit and RAW. What does that mean? I'm photographing raw video. I have flexibility. My color, my exposure, using the whole dynamic range to bring out the best in the incredible files already exist. I was reviewing some of the footage, and I'm like, did we photograph in normal standard mode? The colors that came straight out of the camera were exquisite. Now, the fact that we have raw thing and performance. Living here in Las Vegas, I'm surrounded by some of the best talent in the world. And what I've learned with performers is nothing is impossible. I'd say, well, can you sit on the ground and bring your legs up and just hold your body weight? Yeah, no problem. Can you handstand and lift your legs up and do the splits while you're doing handstands and hold the body weight of another woman while she's up in the air? Sure, no problem. And the camera held up beautifully. So I wanted to ease into the shoot of this really cool couple. I photographed them as individuals and as a couple. We used strobe, we used natural light. We actually did these beautiful vintage portraits, and I loved it. The files that come out of the Nikon camera system are very predictably amazing. So why not test the color and what I can get out of this camera with something really beautiful. So what do? Well, you paint someone's face with different colors, the palette of what would actually appear in a peacock feather, and surround her face and get every one of the entire crew to frame her face with it, and of course a photograph. And the results are stunning. Having the ability to shoot RAW at 45.7 megapixels in camera in this small form factor gives us so much dynamic range and beautiful each color. So when Nikon approaches you to photograph a campaign, especially for the Nikon Z8, what do? Well, you feature a lot of yellow. So we had Ariana in this gorgeous yellow dress in front of this vintage canvas background, and the shots were beautiful. That yellow dress with that vintage background against the gorgeous skin tone was so much fun to photograph. And if you're looking for beautiful bokeh and beautiful fall off, that's where we can Nikon Noct 0.95 aperture.
But the Z9
photographing on
4K 60p,
a small little
and
plane of focus.
It's a very
photographing both her eyelashes perfect looking down was one of my favorite shots of the day. I was photographing in my studio, and I covered up my entire garage door with soft diffusion, giving us this beautiful broad big light. We changed Ariana's clothes into a very cool futuristic bodysuit with these glasses and took these very high fashion and the camera didn't let me down.
S2X.
I asked Ariana to bring some of her dresses, and she realized that basically
half of the features.
She was absolutely as breathtaking as she was
It's a no open
as well.
book, right?
For the finale of my photography shoot with Ariana, I wanted to finish up with something very dramatic. So we found this beautiful hat. We cut out circles around the hat, and now I'm going to backlight her with these strong beams of light. Get some smokes blowing all in and out through the holes. I was so excited about these photographs. And then I'm like, know what would be really nice right now? All I had to do was flick that switch to video and press record. Now I have this perfect introduction for video. I have a perfect piece of social media. It was an incredible finale. After doing this for 3 decades, my hunger to create is still as strong as it is ever. The fact that I now have a tool that is so sophisticated to help me produce these results, I love to surprise my audience. I love it when people look at my work and say, that's not your work, that's not you. That's just me being an artist. I want to reinvent myself. The same way that Nikon reinvents their cameras, they're keeping up with what I want to do and what I want to achieve. No matter how sophisticated the camera, it takes an artist to bring out the best in it. But you never want the camera system to fall short and be an excuse for bad performance. I've always said the camera is a tool and you make the difference. I never want a camera to be my excuse for bad performance. I have an incredible camera in the Z8 with incredible iFocus, with Zoe running into my camera and focusing at f1.2 at 20 frames a second in RAW. I can have Zoe jumping in the pool and splashing water on my camera. Don't recommend that. Don't try it. And still not a problem. We had the camera 2 inches from the fire and it was still fine. We had it in the cold, high frame rates in the sun. We were shooting 8K at times. Never missed a beat. Simply having a built-in sensor shield, I can't tell you how much that's changed my life. I can take my lens off. I don't have to worry about dust getting on the sensor. That sensor shield is a game changer. The MCN10 grip is incredible for filmmaking because you can plug it on your arm of your tripod. You can access all the buttons that you need. With a Nikon Z8, it gives me so many capabilities that I can actually get to my result quicker,
Nikon, I guarantee,
fun way, more efficient way. In a few months, I'm turning 50 years old. After a week of photographing and filmmaking with the Z8, it was everything that I hoped for. And the overarching theme to my photography and short film this week is that a life well lived all starts with a moment. Those moments,
Manny Ortiz droppers, Art of Photography droppers.
Those I don't want to talk
Ready, action.
Over the years.
The Verge droppers. It's finished? Oh, damn it.
The Verge, God, Poland, those reviews are not exciting. Basic. Hi, all of those are just basic. You want creators. Not person to review like it's a press briefing.
Matt does Matt.
Yeah, well, Matt must get that.
Essentially, what you're saying is you want more YouTubers.
No, not necessarily YouTubers. You don't need a big following.
You need chills.
No, they have a lot of creative people out there that can do justice.
What do you mean do justice?
Like actually sell you the camera.
Chills.
Nah.
That's the definition of a shill. Oh my God, are they finished?
Finish?
Oh, thank you, Jesus. That was a long lunch. Why was that so long? When you see that Nikon probably not going to drop a next camera for another 3 years.
Yeah, but they have no room to drop anything.
What do you mean?
What they get drop? As is X3, like
they could drop as the 10. That was the 10.
They don't have it, but to drop a Z10, like what is the Z9 lacking?
It's not so much about lacking as a matter of what they could trim to allow more persons to access the
yeah, ecosystem. But a Z10 would not be a trimmed down version of a Z9.
No, we forget Z9. We already get that. Z8 is the trimmed down version of Z9. But I'm thinking along the lines of you have Z6 III, you have the Z7 III, hopefully. So that would take care of the A7 IV and the A7R5.
Correct.
I mean, sorry to compare to Sony, but they essentially are the benchmark currently. Beyond that, now we're going to be looking at Z8 to compete with what A7, what Sony has in their lineup.
Sony don't have nothing.
No.
The Z8 might be, and then it might be too much to see the Z8 could go head to head with the A9.
Actually, I think the Z8 is around the A9, you know.
Yeah.
In a way.
But Sony is basically going to answer with an A9 III this year. Sony already on mark to release 4 more cameras this year.
But they have the sensor processing capabilities. Not sensor, sorry. They have the sensor.
All right. Audio good, they said.
Oh, okay. You're not getting bombarded by Nikon.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad to see it. The Z8 for sure. We added one. I've been waiting for the right Nikon since D810, D850. I mean, a lot of people were excited about the D850, but me having so much access to cameras,
The D850.
People are excited about it.
The D850.
Yeah.
Oh Lord,
the DSLR. So that's what I'm saying. Since the D810, I haven't really gotten a camera from.
No, I remember having a whole wish list, having pictures of the D850 as wallpaper, sticking it up in my room. Like,
serious?
Yo, this is the camera to get. I remember when I went B&H.
Did you buy it?
No. That's the problem. Sony came like COVID. Sony was like COVID. What COVID was to the world, Sony was. No, Sony basically disrupted your trajectory of camera gear purchases. Like, literally, I had all the lenses I would have needed for maybe the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
That was then.
That I'm telling you.
And what happened?
Sony came and just like, yo, what they dropped? The A7R? No, the A7 II or whatever. And
no, A7 II was out long before.
No, but Sony came and basically showed the world that, yo, we could give you a much better camera.
The A7 III was disruptive.
Yeah, it was disruptive. And basically everybody is like, oh gosh. Nikon was like a Titanic. Canon was a Titanic. And basically they had to just divert course. Now, somebody might be looking on and be like, why switch to mirrorless? To be honest, I miss DSLR cameras, to be honest with you. It's hard to explain. There's no advantage of going back, but I personally like how they felt. They felt robust. They just felt like if you could throw them out of a plane and it would still work.
What you're saying is you wanted to buy a cage for your mirrorless camera?
Well, I bought a cage now and I understand that the cage basically creates that DSLR feel like, but aesthetically looking, cage is not pleasing to the eye, personally.
What? Serious?
Literally. Maybe the Sony built cages tend to look better, but the small rigs that are on Nikon just look a bit. I don't know. I feel like if they rush development, I've seen cages that take the shape of a camera more in terms of the edges and curves and whatnot. And I felt when it came to Nikon, small rig just built a rectangular box without taking into consideration the rear screws and whatnot. I should have brought mine to show you all, but I've seen cages for other brands that you could see they put some thought into how they create this cage around this camera. And then Nikon come and it was like, we just give them a box and be happy with it.
I know Nikon fault.
Who makes the cage?
Not Nikon.
So it's not Nikon fault. I'm just saying how the cages, they are a good thing, but when it comes to Nikon, it's like they didn't put no thought into building the cages for Nikon cameras. Yeah. There's just even this company, I think it's 8sin. I don't know if you all know it.
I know it.
They make these expensive cages.
Really?
Well, I mean, small rig is like 80 and the 8sin for Nikon is 150.
Relative.
True. But I've seen some of their cages and they make small rig look like a joke in terms of the build quality and design.
Yeah. So more than likely, I think what's going to happen here is Nikon is going to just keep pushing to compete. I don't think they're even competing with Sony per se. I figure they're more competing with Canon.
Yeah, well, Sony could just drop a firmware update and basically make this camera look like nothing. You understand? So this camera is more for Nikon shooters to be happy than to bring in Nikon shooters.
Right.
So as somebody said, Chico was like, I'm saying how he just messaged me here that camera specs sound good, but $4,000. We know when a camera drop, it's going to be that price. But what I mean is that how much you expect Nikon to actually drop this for?
But there's no other camera at this price, though.
But he said he rather A7 IV.
A7 IV can't compare against this, though. That makes no sense.
Is night
unless you're
and day.
talking about lenses or something. But I think probably people just have simply thrown Nikon to the doors in terms of future development. But yeah. Here's what, Ronnie. Take it over for a little bit. I need to deal with something here. It's the unfortunate thing when
well, I'm not seeing anybody on the live. Well, I'm not seeing any comments. What side do you all see any comments on? All right, let me see your follow input size. Remember when it starts, mash the accelerator, then it starts. Oh, all right. All right, guys, I'm going to the comment section. We see Sony for life, 8K internal is still a flex. I agree with Owen, is still a flex. I mean, nobody out here going to be editing no 8K footage. But at the end of the day, you know for sure, it's almost like a future-proofing camera, but still 8K might be an overkill. Like literally nobody fighting up with that. People still out here just delivering 1080p and upscaling it. But we will see. I'm trying to get the comments on my end, and I'm not really seeing the comments coming in. If you hear me right now, just drop a comment in the chat. Just now. I'm seeing Owen's comment. I'm seeing Phil's comment, but I'm not seeing anybody else apart from that. Yeah. All right, you have Andrew James over here now. So all right, I'll continue. So guys, it's just me alone here. Conran had to step out, so let me just look back at the Z8. So all right, just running through the specs again. We basically had the 45 megapixel stack sensor. I'm neither here nor there on the sensor. I currently own a Nikon Z6 and the sensor is 100% fine for me. So I don't really care about owning a new sensor. What I'm excited about is the fact that with the Z8, you don't have to fight up and add an Atmos recorder to basically get 10-bit internal RAW for video. So we get actually 12-bit. They didn't mention in the briefing if it's cropped or how much is cropped. The Nikon, I think, the Nikon Z9 has like a 1.1 crop, but they didn't mention what crop, if any, the Z8 would have had. I'm assuming it will be the same. So I think I find it here. So we have 8.3K, 60p or 24p, and we have 5K basically, 60p with a 1.5 crop. All right, we have Conrad back in the studio. But anybody, any Nikon shooter here who thinks that the Z8 is exactly what they wanted, forget about the price. Is the Z8 something you think that you want? And it's something that you will upgrade to. So far, I already see Sony and Canon guys in here. As I say, this camera basically is not to convince anybody to come to Nikon. It's basically for Nikon users basically to remain a Nikon shooter. But at the end of the day, use the camera that's best for you. And everybody wants their brand to win. It's pointless to invest in a brand only to know that basically your gear will lose value in a few years' time. Yeah, you're on.
All right. Sorry about that intermission. Well, no intermission, Ronnie had it here. So what people saying right now, is it that they're dismissive of Nikon's effort, or they're just, again, they don't really have the money to pay for it, or they're jumping in full steam ahead? What it is going on there now?
Somebody telling me to come home to Sony. Well, I thought I would have come home to Sony, but as a few minutes ago, I think I'll still remain in the Nikon camp. Like there's, maybe a delay in the inevitable. Like I told somebody, I basically grew up on Sony Handycam cameras back in the days of cassette, mini DV, and all those times. And to look back and see, wow, imagine if I had held on to videography as much as photography. I probably should by now own a couple FX6s. At least.
Yeah, there's a couple, yes.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I'm glad to see it, honestly. Like I said, we already put in the order for one. Oh. Yeah, I already put in the order for one. What we're looking at is Nikon as a whole is looking to the future. I think what we need to do is give them the opportunity to shine. We've grown so accustomed to Sony handling things, being on top, that we almost threw everybody else out the door. Panasonic is a joke to many, including myself, but it's in the right hands, still an excellent camera. And we need to give these manufacturers an opportunity. When we simply write off a manufacturer, what we are essentially doing is killing competition.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I'm all for competition. A win for Nikon is a win for everybody else. Every time I see Sony brings out a better camera, I'm like, yo, Nikon is going to at least take something from it or see how they could improve. Exactly.
I think, again, this isn't to compete with anything with Sony right now. The closest thing, as Randy mentioned, is the E9 II. Great camera, not my camera. The A7R5 doesn't have 8K. It has AI, but I believe the Nikon Z8 as well has some tricks up its sleeves with regards to autofocus. It's going to also have a faster readout, which to me is the main being of the Sony. It has a slower processor, and you also have the whole annoyance of poor bit rates and stuff for video. On the Canon side of things, though, you have the R5, the R5C. I think those are the main competitors to the Z8. Unfortunately for Nikon, Canon came out with these at least a year.
3 years now the R5 out?
I think it's 2.5. Let me see.
I feel it's almost 3 years the R5 has been out.
So from what I could tell, the R5... Remember when we used to have the forum? Let's call it DP
review?
Yeah, DP review. Wow, July 9th is going to make 3 years.
Look at that. And Nikon basically didn't have any responses. Like, people was like, when Nikon
3 years. Damn.
And would you say that how the Z8 is dead on arrival?
No.
Or
hell no.
It basically has the ability to punch for the next 3 years?
I say it's going to be punching probably for a year.
Ooh, damn, boy.
I say a year.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I say it has a year.
A year, boy. Good. So basically, we're saying if somebody buys it now, basically in a year's time, they probably will lose at least $500 US off of the value.
$500 US is no kind of money. For a camera on that level.
True.
4,000, that is what, 12.5%, 1.8.
And plus, Nikon already see the increase in their products.
Exactly.
Because of yen. So this is still a good price.
I think that's why they increased the prices.
I honestly think if it wasn't for that Nikon price increase, this camera would have came out at about $3,700. I honestly feel so. $3,799. At least $200 to $300 off, they would have dropped this camera at.
No, really.
No, the A7R,
I had to stop calling the R5. And R5 with competitor is the Z7, so that Nikon needs to drop a Z7 III. Yeah.
Oh, the R5 is so cheap, damn.
They're not so cheap. What is the difference? Like about $500?
The R5 right now is for $3,400.
Right,
so that's $600. And
actually,
then again, the R5 is on sale.
The A7 R5 is $3,900 from what I'm seeing.
Good. So they actually, because that is the price I was expecting to come. Basically, the same level.
Where you seeing the R5 on sale?
On B&H.
Not from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, Canon EOS R5.
Oh, the EOS R5. My bad. I'm thinking Sony.
Oh, Sony R5?
Well, E7, R5.
Yeah, okay.
It's so many models.
Yeah, boy.
So many models. So yeah, the R5. And again, after 3 years, you could do that. You could put discounts on top of your prices.
Yeah, and Nikon notoriously does always offer discounts. Like they will always have, as soon as you drop a camera, at least 2 years, you want to have a little $200 or $300 rebate.
Yeah, I'd say it's a pretty good offering.
And just having a Z6 here on camera, basically, the first time I held a Z6, well, actually, first time I held a mirrorless was, I think, Conrad had a Sony A7 III or A7 II, and I was like, this thing felt like a toy. And this is me coming from a DSLR with a D750. And I immediately hated it. I was like, I would never use this. And then when the Z6 came and I held it, I was like, okay, this is something, we could work with that. And then the Canon R5 came. And when I held that camera, I was like, this is literally the perfect body for me. It felt like a DSLR, but it was a mirrorless. I had no complaints about the Canon R5 body. It felt exactly great in my hands, and I know for sure the Z8 will give me that same feeling. This is the Z6, for example. And I'm 6 foot, about 300 pounds. And basically, when I'm holding a camera, some person be like, oh, camera too big, lens is too big. No. What I hated was the fact that when I held the camera, it felt like if my fingers were still off of the camera, rather than all my fingers gripping it. Now, if I add a grip, that could change, but I found the grip for the Nikon Z6 II just made the camera a bit too big overall. It didn't look aesthetically pleasing to me. And when I held the D850, I think I was in B&H in New York. And when I held that camera, I was like, wow, Nikon, this is the perfect DSLR. Literally, when I held the D850, my fingers held firm in the hands and everything. So I know the Z8, once I own it, I will have no issues with that camera overall. The Z9 would be ideal. Literally, I love the Z9's construction, the body, everything. But for $5,500, and knowing me, I like to have at least 2 similar bodies at the same time.
Oh, wow.
So to be able to, so basically buying 2 Z9, nah, I don't see the point in that. Oh. But the Z8 might be able to fit in there.
More palatable. Wow. They're rich, babe.
Yeah. Correct. Like I was even looking at the Atmos to add to the Z6 to basically to get the 10-bit. And I was like saying, man, going on a shoot, doing video, having...
I swear, yeah, American accent in there. Man.
having to add all those wires, cables and whatnot just to basically get 10-bit. It was like, nah, Sony doing that. Nikon give me a camera that's doing that. And the Z8, you have 12-bit. Like, yo, you have everything that you need right now. The Z8 has literally given me everything I will want in a Nikon camera. There's nothing else I'll add to it. There's nothing I'll take away for it.
Nothing else?
Nothing I could think on the top of my head. Nothing, literally.
Wow. I greedy.
I know you're greedy because for many reasons, but for me, the Z8 is all I need.
I mean, you could just think of it 8K 120 frames.
Oh God. Sush.
Everything.
For the average user other than Conrad.
I'm not even using it. I just thinking about my greedy clients and I want to get them everything. Okay, so let's put it this way. The more a camera could do is the more hands it could be in.
Correct.
And the cheaper it could be as a rental. Because what I could do now is I say, okay, instead of this camera getting rented 60 times to recover, I could probably push it back to 80, and then that lowers the price and makes it more accessible. And that is what we're about. We're not necessarily about like holding back. We just want to make it readily available so people have an option. You know, you don't need to say, well, boy, my budget can't hit that $100 more, that $200 more. And that could really be a make or break, for a budget, especially when you have a producer that's pretty tough. Now, I don't really anticipate the Z8 being in the hands of video users locally because we are mostly a Sony country right now. Canon second, Nikon probably on par with Panasonic, if so much. But in video land, definitely Nikon is going to be behind Panasonic.
I know Nikon is behind Panasonic.
Go ahead, Ronnie. Sorry, you got cut.
I know Nikon is behind Panasonic, and that's fine. But I believe
in video land.
In video land, but I believe Nikon could hit and be head to head with Sony. They have the ability to.
Why are they taking the chipsets, the sensors?
Well, okay. Let's say they could be between Canon and Sony.
I have hopes.
I have hopes. I have ambitions. I believe. It's hard. Nikon basically, it will not happen overnight. It had to be like
consistent.
A 5 year, like bam, bam, bam. Because Sony didn't get what it was overnight. And a lot of people are sold on Sony, and I give them all rights to be sold on Sony.
Sony has a 10-year plan.
Like,
huh? Yeah, Sony was a 10-year plan.
Yes. So Nikon basically has to run with that plan. But I have seen the video quality that's come out of my Nikon cameras.
Right.
And I don't know what is the hype with locally with people delivering flat images, flat profile, no color graded and whatnot. I see a lot of that at times.
Oh, you serious?
You know, it's like, I don't know, is it laziness? I don't know, like why clients feel excited and happy about someone delivering a flat profile image.
These are not the views of affordable imports. Please, if you like to deliver creative images that are not saturated, go right ahead.
What?
Yeah.
No, like I'm just waiting for the opportunity to maybe like shoot someone's wedding utilizing strictly Nikon cameras for video.
Okay.
There's one person I know does it a lot. Big up to Joshua in the Nikon realm.
Which Joshua is that?
Joshua from 24 Frames.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Lewis is a boss.
He basically put the Nikon on the map consistently up and down the place.
You say he's on the map.
Well, okay. When I say on the map, it's like how much Nikon shooters does videos for weddings in general.
For video, no.
I don't even know nobody. That'll tell you because you don't look at Nikon for video.
Definitely not.
But what I have seen out of my Z6, I know if given the opportunity, I could create a film and grade it that will look like people will be asking, "You sure it's Nikon who did this?" I'm a firm believer of that. It might not happen this year, but I believe between this year and next year, it will happen.
It is weird. Why do you think people gravitate to Panasonic for video?
I think maybe unlimited recording. People don't want to go through the 30 minutes, but if you add an Atmos to a Nikon, I think you will get the unlimited recording option. I think people like the Panasonic colors, so there's a cult following that people
Panasonic colors. Matamora?
Yeah, there are people that was swearing on the GH4 like, they don't even care. Micro Four Thirds, they don't care. This is it. This is the standard. No, they have people that are Panasonic till they die.
I just want to pelt it. Anytime I hold a Panasonic, I'll be like, I don't know how far I could eat this, how far I could throw this. Feel nice and solid to throw like a shot put. Yeah. Oh, sorry, we're on mic. Yeah, what were you saying? Panasonic, yeah.
Someone just messaged me who owns a Z9 and was like, he's waiting to hear my feedback on the Z8. Because we was talking about before. I don't know if you all know David Fraser.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so he just hit me a message here and I'll tell him we're on a live here. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Maurice was in my DMs there. Let me see what you're about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he shoots everything, eh?
Yeah, he shoots. He had a lot.
Nikon, Canon.
Yeah, he have everything. I mean, I personally, my ideal kit will be full Nikon for video. No, full Nikon for photography, and Sony basically for video.
That's the ideal kit?
That would be my
Which
ideal
Sony
kit.
is that?
The Sony you have got the FX3.
You?
See, this kind of disrespect is how it's out here.
Why
The
you
man should be,
FX3?
well, I mean, people hype it up to basically be cinema grade quality in a
that want to be on the street. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Randy. I apologize.
Yeah,
Sorry.
because I mean, people hype it up. I'm not a Sony user. I
Right.
just only go with the YouTubers. So
You
I
can step in
really
on the mic too.
I really can't say okay, rattle off Sony specs. So basically, what I see on YouTube and certain films I've seen created with the FX3,
Right.
I'm like, yo, this quality looks sexy as hell. Not only that, you have a lot of people who have lots and other stuff already created because they're Sony users, and that might help speed up your editing overall. You don't really have people having lots of Nikon cameras and all of that. You basically have to figure it out, a lot of things straight off the top of your head when it comes to color grading. But now with the Z8, honestly, give me 3 Z8s.
Jeez, honey, jeez. You see, I know I have great clients, and here he is telling me you don't need more.
Give me 3 Z8s, and I'm happy. I'm content. I don't care about what Nikon drops between now and the next 4 years. I am happy.
Look, Rajiv saying here, I came through the Panasonic ecosystem. What was that? Sorry, it disappeared there. Oh, okay. I have a slight lag on my
Yeah, I saw. I was in a wedding where Rajiv was using the Black Magics and so on.
Oh, good.
I personally, I hate how Black Magics look.
I mean, the football? American football.
I can't unsee it now. Yeah, I don't like how it look.
It's a nightmare to rig though.
I don't like how it look. I mean, you get quality out of it, but I don't like how it look. But what I'm saying is that these Z8s, there's nothing else you need. The average 99% of creators, or 199% of creators locally, look at Trinidad market. Forget about the YouTube nonsense. What else do you need?
So I'm asking this, right?
It's not lens. You have 2 USB ports, USB-C ports. So more than likely, probably
it has 2 USB-C ports.
Yeah, so more than likely you could run.
You serious?
You could basically run a power bank through it or whatnot.
So external throughout SSD. That's what I think. No, but probably like he says 2, so power
2.
and SSD.
It's the Lumix SH2 or whatever. You could basically plug your SSD into it and record straight to the SSD.
A lot of cameras could do that. I think Blackmagic.
Yeah, Blackmagic.
Were the first to do.
Correct. This. But it's nice that everybody is getting it now. But basically, what I'm saying is that
Panasonic could get through. Anyway,
what would you say, in all honesty, is missing from these Z8?
I want 8K 120 frames.
Who are you delivering that to?
Foreign crews.
Initially, I told you, I'm talking about local. Okay. Forget about the foreign crew. What are we delivering to the local market?
Again, once we doing ads and stuff, the ability to crop in and post is seriously underrated. You have 2 shots in one.
True.
If you have a 4K shot, if you have a 4K deliverable, right, which is still pretty high res.
And I even see people do 1080p and upscale it to 4K. But I don't know how well that is overall. But I've seen people do it.
It's doable. Again, where's your content going to be viewed? That's always the killer, right? Yeah, I mean, it's just like with the past, we have always had cameras leading the way in terms of resolution, and then cameras, the typical cameras following. Now you could find a lot more 4K TVs in your home. If you go to PriceMart, you go to Quartz, any of those appliance stores, you're going to see 4K being touted as a feature, if you will. Smart 4K LED TV.
Yeah, it's like if the TV
gyros coming in. Yeah.
Like if you don't have that stick on the TV, it's like
it's not making sense, right? It's a poverty TV. It's almost like you have a big back TV if you don't have those. So I say cameras having 8K now is almost a requirement. At least 6K.
Okay.
6K is like a medium. They still have persons trailing the way in terms of they don't want to have too much of processing issues, storage, all of that. I say 8K is almost like a requirement now for cameras going forward. At a minimum 6K. 4K is 1080 now.
But if they're giving you 8K and they're telling you 2 times crop.
8K 2 times crop, I can still see it being useful once you have sufficient lenses to give you that wide frame. It all depends. The glass is there, according to Kyle. According on the mic, Kyle. Exactly. If I see somebody deliver 720 now, tell them with a Panasonic. I think that's going to be my slogan. I'll stone you with a Panasonic.
I just want to remember May the 10th as National Nikon Z8 Day.
May the 10th?
May the 10th, National Nikon Z8 Day.
I not taking on Randy, because I'm gonna call Randy next year and he'll be like, bro, you see that new Z9 too?
Oh gosh. No, but honestly, for my upgrade life cycle for cameras is usually around 4 years.
4 years?
Yeah. I don't see the point in fighting up switching cameras every year. You're losing money. Yes, they will make things that will excite you. You'll be like, yeah, boy, I feel like you're missing out. But after a few months, you'll be normal or not?
True, of course.
Yeah,
and
a lot of
that's the
times
thing.
in the moment, like today, lots of people going to buy that Z8.
Who is that? What happening, you know? Dumas? Me and Abel, the Tobago raps, no?
Yeah,
I know
like
Tobago raps.
a lot of people buy Nikon Z8 today.
You think? I think people are gonna put in a
Z9, the Z9 take almost a year and a half to properly start to reach to people's hands.
But
people could say that shipment is your trip, is your
I was not
whatnot.
going to say that. Is that because of the number of orders or because Nikon wasn't able to supply? Because
I think it had a lot of orders. I think it had a lot of orders, but Nikon already said how the shipping is on May 25th. Let's see.
Fingers crossed. No, Nikon didn't say that.
B&H has on their site expressed
So
shipping.
since when B&H became the spokesperson for Nikon?
They're not the spokesperson.
Oh,
but
okay.
overall, one manufacturer that I have seen always consistent in terms of their delivery dates has been DJI. If DJI no, I'll be honest. If DJI drops a gimbal or drone today and says that we are shipping on May the 10th, book it show, May the 10th, that device arriving. Even is yesterday, the Mavic 3 Pro. They say it's shipping yesterday and reaching people yesterday. People already get it.
You know why I just laugh at people who follow DJI so aggressively? I have yet to receive a DJI product out the gate without firmware issues. And I think that's what they did to tame it down. They pulled back some of the features so they could have time to streamline it a little better. But they still made it known in the launch that it's capable of doing stuff. And that has been my issue with DJI, personally. Create hardware, but they are quick to make it outdated.
Yeah, boy. Good. It's like when you buy something, it's like, let me just enjoy you for a year.
Yeah.
There's no loyalty. It's like, okay, we don't care about you. But Sony like that, eh?
No.
Sony close to that.
Not as aggressive as DJI. DJI say, okay, here's what, guys, we're giving you the world today. But just know, next year, you're not going to be able to get these new accessories that we're going to put in the new one. Because if you try and make it work, it's just not going to fit. Heads up. Yeah, hard luck, homies. Now it's going to be compatible.
Yeah, when you look at the Mavic 3 Pro, basically as soon as it drop, bam, the Mavic 3
the regular
disappeared.
Mavic 3, yeah, like
one time,
out of stock.
One time, then it was like, oh, so could we get the Mavic 3 Pro without any controller? Be like, nope. Any plans of it in the future? None at this time.
No, I think they're just really aggressive.
DJI, why? If it do, it's almost like Apple. No, DJI, no.
Apple still.
When the iPhone 14 dropped, the iPhone 13 was no longer available. The same day on their website, it was no longer available.
Yeah, but what they do is they offer a variety of products. Exactly.
I have always said Apple has affected a lot of manufacturers in terms of product cycles.
Of course.
Without we even realizing.
Of course.
Real aggressive?
No, I glad my Mavic 3 did what it was supposed to do, or Mavic 3s.
Yeah.
I say it get the job
it
done.
get the job done.
And I am more than happy with what we got out of it.
I personally looking forward to owning a Mavic 3 Pro.
I would probably upgrade one of them if we have to.
Yeah.
But I see no reason. And the funny thing, I mean, we're way off topic here. We're supposed to be talking about the Z8. But it just speaks to how manufacturers treat us as the consumers. When the Mavic 3 initially launched, a lot of persons said it was too expensive. It was too expensive. We can't pay so much. Oh
no,
my
no,
God!
no, no.
How dare you? $5,000 for a drone.
But look at the Mavic 3 Pro and people drooling. It shows you that
exactly.
People always find a way.
Exactly.
People always find a way.
No.
Like Nikon, I don't want
Jurassic
some
Park,
bad.
we're not taking the phrase, but
Nikon could basically drop the Z9 II tomorrow
Uh-huh.
and say 6,500.
Uh-huh.
In a year's time, you'll still see 200 reviews on B&H of people who bought it and giving feedback.
Yeah, still current. Exactly. But
Sometimes I just look at that to see how well a camera did in sales.
Why? Why do you analyze how well camera do in sales?
Okay.
I'm asking.
I just do it. Okay. More like popularity.
Okay.
So in the sense that, all right, let's say I'm thinking about the R5, and I know the Z9 came out the same time as the R5. Just using random examples.
Right.
I go on B&H, I see 300 reviews on the R5, and then I see 100 on the Z9. You already know that there's a huge popularity for this product. Something what I also do is that you look at the reviews in the last year of the product. Forget about the people who just excited because the camera now dropped and they're like, oh, this is the best camera, bam, bam, bam.
Right.
You're looking for people who updated the review after a year or 2 years, or people who have bought in the past 6 months and see how they feel about it, even though it's a 2-year or 3-year-old camera. That tends to give you a good gauge of how well this camera is overall.
Why is that important to you?
It's user feedback. It's like, okay, if you have a product, if you're selling a package as a photographer and you know 100 people recommended running you on photography and you watch all the reviews and they were extensive, you know, okay, I'm basically investing my money in something and there will be no unforeseen issues. Now, for example, okay, correct. You will know what issues are there to begin with and what to look forward to and have lowered or increased your expectations overall. For example, a lot of times camera manufacturers will drop a camera. Yeah.
Right.
Give you 8K, 6K. Half of the reviews, the camera overheating after 20 minutes. It overheating after 30 minutes. The YouTuber might not tell you that. He's looking to get you to buy this camera.
Oh, so you're talking about actual user feedback.
Yeah,
you have more confidence than YouTuber.
Yeah,
shows.
YouTubers, they're going to be like, they'll give you a title like, finally switching. No more Sony. All these things just for you to click on, you watch one, it's like, you just here to sell me a product. If I go through your last 50 videos, you have jumped basically. No, like, honestly, there are some YouTubers I just don't even waste time listening to.
Right.
Some of the big YouTubers, like, literally, I don't even want to hear nothing from all you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
YouTube is definitely becoming what it is a lot of people say. That's
True. Good point.
True.
Yeah, for sure. I say this year is going to be successful, I think. But I'm still worried for Nikon in terms of their offerings being too far behind the other market leaders.
Because if you jump down from the Z8 and then look at the Z6 II, the Z6 II needs an upgrade.
What would you say the Z6 II needs?
It needs internal 10-bit, 12-bit internal. You don't need to add
12-bit internal.
What is it? Is giving you that?
No, I'm just
at least 10-bit internal 4K 60p. Yeah, internally in camera.
His thing is he hears how the ergonomics and the sizes.
No, the ergonomics
when he adds on the Ninja and all that.
Exactly. Yeah, it's time consuming. You just roll up with your Sony and bam, you already what the market is already giving you for $2,400.
Yeah, but that's the thing. This is where we have to be careful. I don't want to confuse appearances with what the actual experience is like because as much as I can pick up a Sony and start shooting now, I will in the back of my mind be like, the screen up there. But I know the time to set up that screen may or may not be in my
I see where I'm coming from in terms of just upgrading to be relevant still.
For sure.
My issue is that Nikon seems to be too slow to develop. They need to bring those product cycles faster. I don't know what that's going to mean for their price. Probably that's why they're upping their prices to recoup their initial investment.
Yeah, because I was shocked that Z9 came in at 5,500. That was
insane.
Yeah, they basically was like, you know what? Everybody was expecting that to be at least 6,000.
Because the closest competitor is the R3 and the E1, right?
Yeah, and those were 6,000, 6,500.
Exactly, respectively. So that was insane.
So they came in like a knife, like, yo, hold this.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think Nikon probably were trying to do like Sony in their early years and come in aggressively. But the thing is that the game has reached so far. It's like Sony essentially said, "Oh, your guys are playing cricket. I'm going to bring a win ball in this."
No.
What's that?
I have a better analogy.
What's that?
These guys were playing test matches, and one day Sony came and gave us a T20 match.
Yes, perfect example.
T20,
Go ahead,
literally, Sony came and gave the game a T20 match. When this guy Alan Sanford gave us T20 cricket, I was like, the best thing that ever happened to the Caribbean. Don't matter. We taking him. We wish he could be out now. The Caribbean might have been closer to Dubai.
What?
But anyway, this is a controversial topic. We're going to have to cut this out of the edit.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the end of the day, Sony was the T20. And I don't think Canon and Nikon will be able to even come close to catching up with these product cycles until maybe the next 5 or so years. And then at the same time, we don't even know what a camera will be in 5 years.
Very good point.
Yeah, like look, Red teasing a camera next week. So the Z8 could be dead on. Oh. Okay.
Bad battery.
Because
that depends. Go ahead, Ronnie. Go ahead. You put your input on it.
Honestly, that NEL 15C. Honestly, I find like it finishes too fast.
How long does it last?
I've actually find myself on wedding days switching out my NEL 15C.
The who? Or the battery?
Yeah, I've switched it out doing photo. So I don't have no real world tests, but I believe it'll be eating a lot of battery. I assume that. But then just power with a power bank. Like how much the other cameras are going to how much the other manufacturers are giving you on just battery alone?
I am a bad example of that because our Sonys get licks. I think we get something between an hour to 2 hours, depending on the settings and all that.
So yeah.
Again, people have grown so accustomed to performance that is extraordinary that it now has become like, you can shoot 4K. What I going to do with this?
And look, Raji, if you even mentioned the limited bitrate, a hindrance in post, like you trying to grade 8-bit internal footage, that is a waste of time.
I don't have any
overheat.
Yeah, I don't have any overheating issues.
I never had any. Yeah,
Z6, probably the original Z6.
Yeah, no.
I'm not sure.
Overheat?
I think the Z6 II doesn't have a limit, right?
No, it does have a
still at the 30 minutes limit.
Yeah, it does have. So that's why you had to put on the Atmos and record externally, and you had to forget. You had to worry. Yeah. Yeah.
I think they're gonna deliver. I think they have had enough time to do their research to
because
develop products.
Because the Z9, I have a friend who sent me some Z9 footage just to play with and grade, and I was like, Nikon, the Z9 is the perfect camera, and the Z8 will be the second perfect camera. Like I saw the footage out of the Z9, graded it, and I was like, what Nikon users complaining about? Literally, that internal 12-bit footage, it was like, It was butter. It was the focusing in the video from that Z9. It was like I had nothing to complain about. Like literally, if you give me a Z9 now, what else you need? No, I think because it's so expensive, it's not practical. So I'm not going to show up to a wedding with 3 Z9s, as good as it is. That is 1,500 US. Correct.
But then again, how much is a Z9 worth on the black market? You ain't gonna have Sony buys.
Yeah.
You might not sell it for a Z6 price.
No, or you just run it to the ground. You use it until they can't get nothing out of it. And that's my idea. When you buy gear, you just look at, okay, you divide it up and say, all right, let's say you have a 3-year cycle. What is the month? We had to use our gear like if we are renting it. So not because I have this camera means that I'm going out and shooting for peanuts. I have to price it client like if I'm actually renting it. Like if that camera had to fail, I could come to AI and be like, you know what? I'm renting this camera and it still doesn't affect my profit margin.
Great point.
You have to rent these, you have to rent the equipment from yourself.
Great point. What was that? Oh, another podcast? Yeah. You think?
Okay, understand.
I guess. But I think
means you have to know about 100 people who are the
So this is the funny thing, whether people want to admit it or not, that is a real issue because I could tell you several times, and this is not to throw shade, this is not to make anybody look bad or anything like that. Several times we have gotten last minute calls on a Saturday evening or Sunday. My camera just went down.
Yeah.
You're doing a wedding shoot or something that's critical, and you have one camera and it just went down.
I've been doing photography 8 years and I don't believe in that at all. It doesn't even matter. You don't have to have the same, you don't have to have the same body, but yo, close.
Nikon inside, right? There's
Z6.
So you get a Z6, you tap out 100%. That's your ride or die. You can run that as much as possible. The ideal hope is that you're going to use the profits from that to get the second one.
Correct.
But in life, generally, doesn't
yeah.
Oh, it just don't become a priority anymore because you're shooting. Your main body's still working, which is why a lot of people, I oftentimes suggest, don't get rid of your old body.
No, like literally, even on the Z8. Let's say I buy the Z8. No, my old body's.
Yeah, I'm holding on to that Z6.
Yeah.
Too. Same with the R.
I have used footage from persons who attach just the utmost.
Right.
10 bits, and I'm like, yo, what were y'all complaining about?
You don't even need to do that. When you consider that you're using it as a B camera, you cut into this. This isn't your primary
Exactly.
footage. You're not going to be pushing colors. And there's another thing we need to get over. Get it right in camera, please. You can't be going with poor lighting, shooting out under the hot sun, with no kind of scrim, no kind of shade, nothing.
No kind of NDs, nothing. You see any jitteriness of the shutter.
And then you want to shoot at night for day.
A lot of the times, it's not your camera, it's the issue, you know.
It's you.
It's you. You as a is your workflow. Is all the other gears except your camera that affects your footage. Because if you be honest, you go back to films that are created with the GH5, GH6, GH4, and you watch it like, wow, this is cinematic glory.
Yeah.
Not only that, you will have persons out there, let's look at TikTok and YouTube, who might make films strictly using your iPhone.
All right, Randy, that's the end of this live stream here. I have limits.
No.
I have limits.
What I'm saying is that I'm not saying the film is good in terms of
the story might be
quality. But the way this story is, the way they splice it together, the way they bring in their audio, the way they use their sound effects and whatnot, create something that is very compelling. The only thing they didn't have was basically a higher end camera.
I've never seen such a film.
All right.
Sorry.
I rest my case.
I think it's usually a ploy or a marketing technique to say, hey, I could do something good with anything.
No. I'm not talking about those people. There are some. Huh?
Yeah, they got
yeah. There's a lot of them. They get kick out of it or high by saying, yeah, I could do this with this.
Anything, yeah.
No. I talk about people that, okay, budget might not be there to get this. And they create something that's compelling that you yourself looking on know that, it's just because they didn't have a camera, why you go rate it lower. They didn't have a modern cinema camera or something, why you might rate the production low overall.
I think if your image quality takes away from the film, then you fail. And I say this from the perspective of when you're watching your favorite television show, do you wonder which camera they use? Or which lens they use? As photographers and creatives, you might be like, I wonder what camera. But the geeks would exactly
correct. What I love is Apple TV shows. So you have, for example, you have this new show they brought out called Silo.
Not gonna watch it.
That's fine. But what I'm saying is that when I watch these, they are visually compelling. All of Apple's TV shows coming out.
Did they shoot it on an iPhone?
No, they didn't shoot on an iPhone. But what I look at is the sound. Well, I don't look at the song. I hear the sound.
I was waiting on. I thought Randy was done tripping on some shrooms or something.
I hear the song design, and then I look at the lighting.
Okay.
Then for sure is a proper camera they're shooting with. But I always love how they light, color grade, and song design. Yeah. And those are what might be lacking for the average creator, having lighting, song design, and color grading.
Okay.
Because almost everybody who's watching this right now, the camera that you have is sufficient. What you might not have is the skill to put in your song design, color grade, and light your scene.
True. I would say for sure there are a lot of other factors that contribute to the final video or the final story. But my thing is, gear still matters.
It will always matter.
Yeah, it still matters. And again, not to be going way off topic, but I think the Z8 is going to be compelling for those persons who just didn't want. Like Rani said, persons who want to have two and not necessarily want to buy a Z9 because 2 times Z9 difference is about $3,000, right?
That's 11K.
Yeah.
And if you look at the difference between 2 Z8, which is 8,000. That's 3,000.
Well, yeah. Shout out to the people who want to do better than AI. They could buy a FX9. I would give all my salutes to you. Please buy a FX9.
That
please.
real.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
It's an inside joke, but
you quicker buy 2 Z8, and not only that, what persons might be looking at. All right, how much value will this lose over time? And then could I sell it and put back on a little bit and still get something and still be relevant? Some people look at that. For me, I don't really concern about that because my product cycles in my history of doing photography tends to be longer. Right. And because of mirrorless now, it's not like Nikon is going to change their mount tomorrow or in 5 years.
But there's the thing, right? A lot of us, we complain and talk about mounts and then we talk about video features. What we essentially are doing there is giving Sony their props. And I say this from the perspective of, if you're into video, like proper cinema, you don't care about autofocus.
No, you don't. That's the thing.
And in a case
autofocus doesn't exist.
Exactly. We don't really care about autofocus. The most popular mounts for cinematographers is PL followed by EF.
Which
EF is camera. Correct. PL mount, positive lock or something like that, I think is the name where it's derived from. That came down from decades, and that's still in use today. So if you're into video seriously, then your camera choice isn't going to be determined by your mount, first and foremost, unless you have something that's not compatible with those two, and usually they are adaptable. All right. again, what we essentially, when we say we want video features and we look at the mount and all that, we essentially giving Sony all the props. What Red?
Sony deserve all the flowers and
No,
props.
they did excellent. They pushed the market. But what Red and they decided to do now is they took a partnership almost with Canon. So Canon got access to some of Red's trademarks. Their tech is not widely publicized, but they got access to some of it. And in turn, Red got access to Canon's RF and some of the autofocus technology.
So they're sharing stuff behind the scenes. But why? Why you think Nikon's issue with Red got dismissed? Some people say that
I don't think it got dismissed.
It was settled out of court.
It was just settled. It wasn't dismissed. And that is where a lot of people got that confused. It wasn't dismissed. Dismissed would mean that the judge threw it out.
They settled it out of court.
Yeah, essentially the case was they just didn't pursue it anymore. They put it back. And what that did, or what that suggests, is that Nikon was able to reach some amicable deal with Red. I'm glad to see that.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that because it shows you how good the Z9 raw video quality was.
I don't know. I think go ahead.
Trust me, boy. I've seen it and I was like, yeah. But it's not practical to roll up on a shoot with 3 or multiple Z9s. People want redundancy. Kyle rolling up to a shoot, he wants to know he has at least 3 Sony cameras, A, B, and C. Not so? Ideally, but he go settle for A and B. The average person can settle for no 2 Z9s.
I think what that means is that Nikon is taking video seriously, and they're willing to go beyond their normal to pursue it, which is good for the end user. I don't know what they did, what there was the settlement, if it was monetary, if it was a sharing of technology, if it's in time to come, we're going to see more similar products. I don't know if it's a win, but we're going to see. I'm excited. I'm excited. I want to see what the Z8 brings. I want to see more users put in Nikon in video land. I want to see Panasonic being thrown out.
Oh, God, man. And they're now trying to...
I don't really care about Panasonic. Panasonic needs to realize that they have no place for them.
So you say Panasonic is going to meet the fate of Kodak?
No. Here's what I'm hoping for, and this is the only time you're gonna hear me say this. So this is exclusive. I want Panasonic to take Nikon's place because there's a natural hierarchy that evolves over time, and if Panasonic stays where it is, it makes it difficult for Nikon to move up. We need to see the natural tiers, and right now Sony is at the top, followed by Canon. If we could say try away with Panasonic, essentially that's what people are saying right now with Nikon. That's gonna give Nikon the opportunity. Somebody say I need to drink water.
To reinvent themselves.
Yeah, I think they need to...
Nikon, I don't know, is it because it is a Japanese company or they have too many old people stuck in their ways. They say like how Toyota, I know this is not camera related, but Toyota basically has a way of moving succession planning through the family and whatnot.
Right.
Toyota CEO step down and put somebody who may be in his 40s to basically run the company. I don't know if Nikon maybe have too many old executives, but to me it's like they're not in a rush. Like how we excited to see product cycles get shorter and shorter. It's like for them, it's like...
Yeah, we just...
Yeah, like...
Yeah, they were sitting on the developments, for sure. Of course.
Well, at least I just want to say that how a couple of Nikon users has reached out to me privately and said they want the Nikon Z8, but let's continue.
Yeah, we need to show support for the end group, yo. We need the end to look promising, you know?
Yeah, we're hearing you.
Yeah, so as I was going to say, the thing about Nikon, even whether it's Z6, Z8, Z7, what I think is the issue, especially when you compare it to things like Sony cameras, the usability. Because if Nikon wants to come up in the video to start thinking about what are going to be the things that
Codecs. Those codecs, they need to emphasize those codecs. Yes, I hear you say ergonomics.
Nothing wrong.
When last held a Nikon, Kyle?
Wait, hold on. What ergonomics you're referring to?
And
on
this
Nikon?
is what's going to
I want
ask
to
him.
hear. I genuinely want to know.
I was the gripe with
gripe
Nikon.
with the ergonomics.
Not for me, it's for the different shooters as well. Like if it's going to mount on the different systems, if they know to hold it up to hand, hold it for certain shots, if they know to put it in a rig where this will give
I think you had to bump the volume on your side.
I think. Yeah.
You might have to check the settings and see too for the gain. Remember, you wanna. Yeah. 49. That should be more than enough.
I personally think ergonomics is not even a.
By the way, guys, if you're liking this conversation, please subscribe.
Yeah, Kyle.
And
Somebody
share.
was saying how they're not hearing you.
Please.
Well, he turning it.
Please subscribe
mic,
and share.
We are hearing him loud
this
and clear.
live stream.
So
Again, we're a little rough today because it's the first time we're in the studio. But we're supposed to have something coming tomorrow evening again. But it wouldn't be just us. We'll have Mr. Profoto on board, and we're going to also have Sion of Tato Studios. Yes.
All right, y'all should be hearing me loud and clear now, I'm assuming.
I hear you.
Drop a one in the comments if you're hearing Kyle.
What you on? You're on channel 3 or 4?
If you're not hearing him
I
properly.
just rerouted the audio.
Okay, yeah. Should be better.
1 if you're hearing him fine, 0 if you're not hearing him in the comments.
They use a mobile. But anyway, forget all of that.
Yeah, you was going back on you.
Yeah, so I was just saying how I've never heard people complain about ergonomics wise for Nikon.
And I mean, if that's the case, that's the case. What we're looking at here is, think about when you're going on a set.
Mm-hmm.
Think about all these people working on a set and the different routines they have for working with different cameras. That's kind of why the cameras all go in a particular direction. So, Ari, staple of every TV show and movie out there.
No.
Almost.
No.
Almost.
We're gonna fight on that, but
Yeah,
go
that's
on.
what. All right. What do you think it is?
What? Number 1?
Yeah. Red up there.
No, not even red, bro.
Are you talking about local?
Wait, what are we talking?
General, TV shows, just TVs and movies.
Okay, it's at the shift. You say like
either or.
No, which segment are we talking about?
Now, so let me forgive myself.
Movies. Ari. Yeah, Ari is number 1, followed by Sony.
I not gonna make an argument about
Panavision
Nikon
too.
for video, because Nikon for video, like the video work that we do, that's gonna be entirely based on what the people have, what they're shooting with, whatever access to. Sony and Canon will always reign supreme when it comes to Trinidad and video work, because you have to look at the support system.
Exactly. And then affordable imports can help. We have how many? We have about 9?
I could call 5 brethren and be like, I need a LP6. No.
Kyle, no. I didn't do the maths. We have 11 Sonys.
Yeah, see? All with the same battery technology.
All with the
same lens mount.
Same, yeah.
All, like the interoperability.
All right, guys, I'll leave in here now.
Go ahead.
So yeah, we really need to just get to that point.
All right, we're going hard on Nikon now. We're going hard. We're going to bring Nikon back.
Yeah, and then everybody just going to show up and be like, what the Sony?
With the Sony. Yeah. With the Canon. Wow, I didn't even do the maths, bro.
Yeah.
No, that's
we running out of time.
Nice. Sony.
No,
Sony,
the FX different.
Sony.
Yeah.
Sony in people's DNA. People live on YouTube.
And that as I say,
People
FX
live on YouTube.
What I love about what Sony has been doing is that gradually you have people maybe forcing themselves, or maybe just by nature of the new features, having to learn how to function and interact differently on a job.
Right.
So when you think about how the FX is going to be used on jobs, we see guys coming in, they tooling up more, they're crewing up more.
Facts.
They're having somebody who might be dedicated to watching the image, somebody who might be dedicated to framing. They're putting that extra bit of attention into lighting. And as we were saying earlier, those are the things that are going to make the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
They're not understanding why they're doing the right thing, but they're doing the right thing.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard, it could just be people trying to gain favor, but I've heard that in the last probably 2 or 3 years, there's been an improvement in the quality of production coming on. in terms of the image.
Big up to affordable imports.
Yeah.
Big up to everybody who can.
Big up to everybody.
Exactly. I think a lot of persons saw what was happening and say, hey, I need to level up to be relevant, because you can't sit down.
The pandemic has shown you that you have to 10x.
Well, you know about 10x, that's a tough one, but for sure, you can't sit back and do the same thing and expect results. And I think that's when Nikoners realized. They realized that, you know.
I just hope a television company gets that vision too as well.
Was that locally?
Yeah.
Well, we still broadcasted in standard definition, so we're going to leave that discussion right there for a bit.
You know, they have 3 letters that are the same, but we could go ahead.
I think that Nikon realized that. Rani alluded to it, that they have old ways that may have been tough to shake off.
Yeah.
But they realized that it needed to come different. Sony did that 10 years ago. They had no choice. They were way down in the pack, and they needed to make a change.
You know how horrible that Alpha mount was?
Oh, yeah, that was... You remember, what's the first Sony you held?
Well, remember, I came from the Handycam days, so I've held Sony since I was 12, 13.
Sorry, my apologies. What was the first mirrorless Sony interchangeable lens camera you've held?
Maybe it was an A6000, A6100.
You remember how horrible that was?
It was like, is this a camera?
A7S1.
A7S1 for you?
But I can't remember how that looked.
How was your initial reaction to that?
This feels small and stupid.
My hand, the moment I held that camera, my hand started to cramp.
Yeah, I remember you had that complaint.
Yeah.
I remember you had a complaint. For me as well.
I had to eat them words real quick when the 7S2 was out, because...
But the ergonomics was closed though.
It was close, but...
They were just increasing the grip size.
Little by little.
True. It's like they just keep modifying it.
Yeah, you just see the drawing come for the new leaked image, and it's just a little bigger grip, a little bigger grip, a little bigger grip. But yeah.
We have some things coming in from Darren.
Wait, all those comments, boy?
Yeah, Daniel is a diehard Nikon man. He's saying here Fireball, Sony and Canon. Nikon is
sorry about that.
I forget all those comments.
I had disrespect. My apologies, guys. We still have a business around.
As a wildlife photographer, he's saying the dynamic range of Nikon is still unmatched. And again, that's a tool for the trade type of situation there.
I don't know if that's still the case. What was you running?
I'm not a wildlife shooter. I can compare. What I'm saying is that at the end of the day, every single camera manufacturer, if you're looking at photo, everybody hitting the same.
They have a quota, they have a benchmark.
Yeah, they're hitting the same benchmark.
Right.
What persons are considered?
It's like 4K.
What persons are mentally worried about from 2023 and forward is what could you give me on the video side?
I definitely think video features.
Photo could
driving sales.
Yeah, it's not photo quality that driving sales, it's video quality.
For sure.
Because when you look at the level of photo manipulation,
the wheel for photos.
Yeah, people want video.
Would you say video? How long would you think features and specs are going to push video? Because to me, we are almost at the point where it's not doing much more. It's not doing much.
What is going to be the point of diminishing returns, essentially?
Yeah, at which point do we say this doesn't really matter?
Because I don't know how much more we could go. We're looking at the FX30s right there, 4K 120.
People want 4K 240 frames per second.
The slow-mo?
Internal.
You think frame rate is going to carry?
No, the answer being the question then becomes for
and
what?
Come in there like
you're gonna use that 240 frames for one shot on one project and 3 months ago. And then what after that is a nice feature to have.
Yeah, and Sony will give the market that.
And then when you have to shoot 240 frames and you have to set your shutter speed to 180 degree and you're going nearly 480, and then you have not enough light for the scene, and your lens is tapped out on the aperture. What are you gonna do?
I see Tristan said here Panasonic drop a affordable video base.
Yeah, but you still have to. I was excited in the launch. But you still have to attach an Atmos to utilize what you consider affordability. Affordability to me is a $2,000 camera giving me 12-bit internal RAW, B-RAW, N-RAW. Insane. It's insane. But that would just mash up the market.
You mean
like I could
Red Raptor?
How much? The Red Act going to get dropped next week?
No, that's the Komodo X.
Phil saying people only want specs, but they don't want to update the firmware in their brain to add skills.
All right, Phil, at the end of the day,
heat in the place. Boy.
That's the end of the live stream there. Thanks, Phil. Guys, it was fun.
Yeah, and as I come back to the same point, in regards to the image sense and equality, nobody cares about that.
Right.
With photo manipulation, you editing and doing whatnot, everybody could get an excellent image. Somebody could pull out a D700 now and get excellent image. What persons are looking at is because we are going in this age of content in the sense of visual movies or whatever you call it, that everybody wants video quality.
Yeah.
And then some persons might reach a point that, well, we don't know how far phones will reach. I know this.
I don't have any faith in phones. I think AI is going to kill it.
Nah,
No,
the relevance of the phones is
for
going
a
to stay
small,
for a bit. But
when
I
you look at
hate-
this small business unit, the social media vlog and whatnot, a lot people doing a lot with phones.
Thanks for just describing everything I hate. I
Yeah,
hate the bubble video is becoming.
For sure, phone is going to have a place. And I think that's being driven by the social media platforms. You're not going to have your average user setting up a full camera. And I think that's what Sony did with the ZV-E1. Perhaps Nikon needs to look into, again, padding their line with features, with models that's going to help push that.
Because a lot of people, that is going to sell like hotcakes.
I think
despite it being overheating in 15 minutes outside.
I don't know if it's going to sell. The price is still pretty high out of the range of your typical user. But what you're going to find is people are looking at it as an example of what could happen in time. Just like we saw with the A7 IV, a lot of people were excited to now have 4K 60.
1.5 crop?
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's 1.5 crop, but when we look at most cinema cameras being crop sensor to begin with,
yeah,
it is
Super 35.
Super 35.
If
you
I
know?
have to hear another person complain about a crop, I will need a Panasonic to tell them with. Because there's
fully
enough
agree.
lenses.
True.
Again, we are spoiled for choice. So when we look to complain about the latest specs and what we have fault with, it's usually just giving props to Sony because they are on the cutting edge. Again, if you're really a cinematographer, where are your manual lens? And we're not talking rookie on.
Just on saying, you find the camera manufacturers need to give long-term support.
Right.
Only person he's seen so far doing that is Fuji to be consistent. And I'm guessing that means adding features after the fact.
So that's why a lot of persons were complaining when they saw the Sony ZEV1 came out, and it was like my A7, my A7S3 here, like and my A1.
My thing is, I could understand the feature side of things, like the menu options and like guidelines and maybe codecs, but if it is the hardware, can't support it.
Yeah, but
sometimes I believe that is our lie we've been sold.
For sure. Sometimes it's 100%.
We need this because we get this new, like Nikon, the new XP processor. Now we could do this. Now,
look at
like,
this.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Look at the feature update this got like 2 weeks ago.
People don't know what you're pointing to, Kyle. We be seeing it.
The Rodecaster Pro 2.
Yeah,
right.
That thing's
So
sweet.
Again, they would have put extra hardware in there that they would activate after time. So now it can act as a receiver for a transmitter.
So here's my thing with that Truston, on Truston's point where Fuji adding features. He didn't say add features, but supporting in the long term. Why they just didn't activate it from the start?
Because it wasn't ready.
No, but
exactly.
you had to make money. Apple will release an iPhone 12.
Right.
Then drop a 13. And visually, it look like the same blasted thing. Could be the same specs inside.
Right.
And then charge you a little bit more. Camera manufacturers are not your friend.
Yeah, but you think Apple gonna maintain that that product frequency? Because I don't think that's sustainable.
Apple at a point
I think
that they're going to.
For a while.
I think no. What I think going to happen maybe next 2 years, Apple is going to still have an iPhone, but create another phone product.
Okay. They already have that with the S line.
No, a higher tier.
Oh, okay.
I think
to separate. You know, like, okay, everybody feel they have an iPhone now, but we're going to create something that will separate. Because remember, it was an exclusive thing. Like, you know, I have an iPhone.
Exactly. It's
not
product
everybody
segmentation.
really have the same iPhone.
No, I wouldn't say
No.
everybody, but
a lot of persons have iPhone. But what I think Apple is going to do is create a product that might be $200 to $300 higher than what their current iPhone is to put in a different market.
Well,
they will do that.
It's still not changing the product. What we want is, okay, so for example, right now, the only reason somebody would change their iPhone is if they feel that compulsion to upgrade every year. If something goes wrong with the phone.
Like cutting edge user.
Yeah, like that bleeding edge guys, they need to be on top of everything.
Okay.
But if it is nothing is wrong with your phone, all the features and all the needs you have are being met, you might hold on to that for 3-4 years.
I think it's just a matter of product segmentation. What's that?
No, so we utilize these MacBooks right now.
Oh.
Look at the M2 sales. The M1 was so good that people was like, the M2 was like, you could pass or not. Let me try and see if I could still buy more M1.
Yeah, I hoping they don't bring an M3.
But
Because it's
they're
like,
going
bro.
to. And they were, and even if they bring an M3 now, the M1 is so good. Like, I don't be thinking about other devices. I don't be thinking about other computers. I come home, turn on my computer, get what I have to do, and it does it.
You go from exporting a 20-minute video that taken 40 minutes to now exporting that 20-minute video in less than 5. It's going to come to a point where you're begging for things to complain about.
And then manufacturers would give us the 8K, and for some reason the 8K will start to be slowing down when they're using your M1, and then they see a YouTuber come out to be like, the M3 cutting down that time in about 50%, and they feel like you're left out.
At that point, I can't care anymore. At that point, it's becoming annoying.
I think you hit it there, Annie, where they essentially eradicating products by simply they slow it down through filming and whatnot.
Yeah, the force it upgrade.
That's Kyle saying that right now.
Yeah, exactly. So what Sony did to alleviate the cost, because what costs manufacturers is when they have to tool up and the new advancements. What they do, or what Sony did, is they kept their older models on the market as the lower price tiers to encourage persons to adapt. So I want to get the latest and greatest, let me say, A1. I can't afford it. I'm going to just buy into the older model, which was still great, and keep with that until I could afford an A1 or until something in that line comes along. So that was the A7 III, aggressively priced at $2,000, and then the A7 IV, they try and recoup back more of the cost by adjusting it to 2005.
And I agree with Kyle comment. Stop watching YouTubers.
Yeah.
If you live on YouTube, you feel like you're missing out.
Always.
You always feel like you're missing out. And at a certain point, you gotta be mature and be like, you're just here to sell me. I don't need to listen to you.
Exactly.
We haven't C100 reviews in 2023.
Exactly. And that was an excellent camera. Even when it launched, it was top tier. It was supposed to be their budget line, but it was top tier. And the product has stood the test of time. And I think that's really, it kind of alludes to what you were saying earlier, Randy, with where you're still seeing reviews and feedback coming in on B&H years later. For sure, I think that's a good way to measure how successful a product was, the longevity of it. But what Nikon, again, needs to probably do now is build a track record. And I think that's where they're lacking. They probably didn't foresee video becoming this important to end users. And hopefully with time, they're going to offer similar products.
And cinema cameras.
I don't know if cinema cameras are going to be wise, because look at Panasonic. They offer, for example, the BS1H. And although they are decent proof of concepts, the adaptation was not really there. You still have, even though the BS1H, cut in Randy for a short bit. Even though the BS1H was a pretty good offering from Panasonic, you did not get persons readily adopting it. You still had guys going to their old Lumix. They bought into the S5. They kept the GH5S, and so on and so on. Give him a plug there, Kyle. Give him a plug.
Nah, just give me the USB-C.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you had a lot of persons adopting Panasonic on their more affordable lines. They didn't see the sense in going into the BS1H, even though it was exactly what a lot of users were asking for. Even the same Blackmagic users, you're hearing now persons asking for the block camera. Yet you have block cameras from so many other alternatives, even with the same mount or similar mount, and they're not ready to jump on
That
board.
BS1H, I was kind of hoping it would have been more popular than it ended up
Same.
being. It really disappointed.
Panasonic essentially
maybe not
gave,
disappoint, but it didn't impress.
Yeah, Panasonic essentially gave users what they were asking for, and guys were like, "Thanks, but no thanks. I'm good. I'm just gonna stick with what I know, and I'm gonna make the best of it." So, we are spoiled for choice at the end of the day. I think the Z8 is a great offering. It shows that Nikon is serious about video. The photo features for sure are great, but at the end of the day, people need to speak with them the dollars. They can't just keep saying great features, nice stuff, Sony is king, Canon is where I go and spend my money, and then expect Nikon to still be making these offerings. At the end of the day, we as users need to speak with our money. Did the feed go down by chance?
It shouldn't have.
Yeah, I'm
Seeing
good.
a refreshing on my
Yeah, I'm
side.
getting a buffering on my end.
Nah, we still going.
Okay. Yeah, I think users need to speak with their money. If they're serious about Nikon, they need to come out and buy the Z8 and show Nikon their support, because at the end of the day, competition is what's going to allow us in the end to move forward with improvements. Gone are the days of Canon and Nikon refreshing the cameras every 3 years. I need to take a call here.
So yeah, Truston has a comment coming in from Truston.
What's the comment?
He's saying, being a small creative professional, he's just happy that the barrier to entry is getting lower for high quality videography.
Correct.
And I agree with that for sure. But then there's definitely a bit of a double-edged sword with that, because the tools get more affordable for us, the working professionals. But then you have that kind of opening up of the equipment, and then you have persons who they don't want to go through all these steps. They don't want to learn everything that we had to learn. They kind of just say like, well, that's a nice camera. It'll give me a nice image. I'm gonna buy that camera.
Exactly.
And that's a little tricky sometimes. I'm not gonna lie.
Any more comments?
Not per se, no. I mean, they kind of all just listening to us all talk, if we're being real frank. In this whole thing, it's just gonna be really interesting to see if more people adopt Nikon. Oh, 1 second.
He's over there.
Might be on the. Yeah. Yeah, you just had more people using Nikon, honestly, because, like I said before, the support system is there for Canon. The support system is there for Sony. It even have more support for Sony now than it did before. There are still different quirks, things like how, okay, if my flash goes down as a Canon user, it's not ideal to use a other party's flash with the single pin, but I could get by. I am not 100% sure if you could do that same thing with Sony, because they have the intelligent hot shoe. So something that would have given you more features when you're in the ecosystem, taking away usability when you're out of the ecosystem.
Something where I saw with the new Panasonic that launched the Lumix. Well, Lumix and Panasonic is the same thing.
Yeah, it's more like a line.
Yeah. I saw is where, where you have the top handle for the camera. You could basically push an NVMe drive into the top handle.
The top handle. That's their design, or that's Condo Blue? I think Condo Blue.
Condo Blue.
Right.
And I found that was a very cool thing, seeing that, okay, some of the features you might have had to attach an Atmos or an SSD. But if you could just slide in the NVMe, it's less cable. It looks less.
Funny thing about that is like a mix of like a black magic feature and a red feature, because the way how the red accessories attach, they try to remove the cable element of things. So they have pins that directly connect to the body. So it would have been something similar to that. And then you have with black magic the ability to record directly to the drives. But again, you're just replacing one point of failure with another, because now you have to worry about, maybe not with the handle for the Lumix, but you're putting a SSD there to record footage. You have to worry about the speed of the cable. You have to worry about keeping track of the cable. You have to worry about the cable disconnecting while you're shooting. And then you have to know that the camera you're using is one that is not going to corrupt the file that is recording, but cut the file and save it.
That's something I wanted to know, because like if somebody touch the camera and you're disconnected, is it that the file completely lost?
It
or
depends.
That because imagine you on a whole production and something like that happens.
So Tristan wants to get a TLDR of the Nikon launch in essence. We have to do an overview anyway, because we can't stay online whole day, guys. Sorry to say. But if we're looking back at it, I mean, Ronnie, you could do the roundup.
I would say for me, what I was excited about, I wasn't concerned most. I wasn't concerned.
But give us a feature rundown.
I'll give it. I have it here already. So basically, a feature rundown. You have the new XP7 image processor, 45 megapixels like the Z9. It's smaller and lighter than both the Z9 and the 850. You have 8K 60p and 4K 120p. This basically is done internal 10-bit ProRes, 12-bit RAW. So you're going to love yourself pushing colors up and down. And other than that, you have the blackout-free viewfinder, the 4-axis tilting monitor. I was excited about that.
I'm seeing here the ProRes 422HQ. Is it that they're including the ProRes license cost into the price of the camera? How is that going to affect things?
Well, I know you could have sent back your Nikon Z6 to get ProRes, but it seems like the Z9 and Z8 is like they put it in the camera one time. It seems so.
I mean, if that's the case, then kudos to them.
Yeah, it seems like it's already in there one time. And the crazy thing, the Nikon grip that they released is actually cheaper than the previous grip for the Z6 too. That's by $50. I don't understand Nikon. But personally, if you're buying the Z8, I want to fight off that grip. I find that grip just takes away from the aesthetics. If you need a grip, it might as well you had bought the Z9 and be happy, because this whole unibody design is much more comfortable overall in hand.
Yeah, I could see that. I fell in love with the idea of that body style.
Yeah, like
being able to just turn the camera and everything is fine. It's great.
And as a wedding shooter, a lot of times when you're taking portrait orientation, you don't want to have your hand like this.
Correct.
It's real annoying and slows down.
It's also not the proper form.
No, but when you could just keep your hand like this, man, you love shooting. The best thing I ever did to my Nikon DSLR cameras was to add a grip. And persons will laugh and be like, they want to use a grip. They will never attach a grip. But for me, it was like, without a grip, this camera not ready yet.
Yeah. What else is there? That was basically it. We have the 3.68 million .EVF, which is just a little bit higher resolution, less lag, less latency.
And just know you have to invest in bigger storage.
Yeah.
Because all these nice video files, yes, you say you want 8K, yes, you want ProRes and all that, but that thing eats up space.
I'm seeing they're talking about the two-way hinge on the LCD.
Yeah, that's just basically like how the Z9. So
Same
basically,
Z9.
you could just turn it up in a different angle, turn it 4 ways other than just flip out.
Again, that's another thing to be wary about, another point of failure.
Yeah, but generally, you really see what I've seen happen. Like somebody in the comments had a Z6 II and probably did about 900,000 shutter on it.
Yeah, Tristan, we're looking at availability of late May with a recommended price of $399.
Yeah. I just 100 more than what I expected it. I was like 3,899. That's how much you're selling it for. Just $100 more. And plus Nikon is increasing the price for 50 other products, including Z9. They said that this morning because I don't know if it's a yen price or whatnot, but yeah. So
I mean, inflation real enough.
Yeah, inflation real.
We can't expect the prices of the cameras to change.
No, and Nikon usually does give you like a little $200 off in a year time. So you could see the camera easily settling around a little $3,700, $3,600. in times to come.
Even if that's the case, it's still gonna fall up there. It's gonna be up there in that I guess we call it flagship the 9, so this will be the just below the flagship.
Yeah, this is just
price.
below the flagship. The Z9 will always be the aim, but I could see a lot of people joining the party and being excited. $1,500 less, you might be able to buy 2.
Yeah, but I'm losing the frame of reference because then the R3 from Canon might be something or maybe close-ish 6K instead of 8K.
The R3 is right now $3,300 on sale.
See,
$500, $600 off. It usually is at $3,800.
So Nikon, we still have to wait for the R1 if it's coming.
It will come, or they might just update the R3.
Too soon, probably.
Well,
because who was first, the 6 or the 5? We going too much down the Canon road, but the R6 or the R5 was first.
I feel like the no, because you already have the R6 Mark II. So that means the R5 was first, then the R6 came, and now you have the R6 Mark II.
Right. So
and how much people does be excited for C-Log? How nice is C-Log? Because the R6 Mark II has C-Log 3 now, and the R6 doesn't.
I'm not a particularly fond log shooter, so I can't speak on it myself. But
you prefer to get it right in camera with a customized profile and just deliver after?
Not even that. On the Sony side of things, S-Cinetone is a pretty decent Rec 709 profile. Colors look good enough. And once you have your white balance set and your exposure on point, that's it. We always tether in that line of too saturated and not saturated enough when you have the log image going out as a final delivery. Why
and just that S-Cinetone will make a lot of people gravitate to want to own Sony.
Simplification, same thing Apple doing.
So that is why Nikon, as much as they give you these specs, whatever you put it out after needs to. Well, I see Nikon did something. I saw it in the press. Don't know if we was talking so much we missed a lot of things. I saw where they had some sort of skin softening in video. And a lot of times, what people don't realize, Nikon straight out raw video tends to be over sharpened and looks choppy.
Yeah,
I know you remember it, but I have found a fix to it. I mean, I get shit on the live. That just my for me and me alone to know.
Yeah,
but basically, yeah, literally. But straight out, it does look over sharpened and look crappy. But I figure out a way around that. But the fact that they even add in this other softening skin aspect in video, it go be nice. It go be nice. I'll do an unboxing in AI Studio. Come down and
the only thing we have to be wary about to some extent is that you slap all these features in a camera. What's the usability going to be like? Is it going to be easy to turn them on and off? Are you going to actually use these features on a job?
That is the next thing. How fast could you get to those features?
Yeah.
Well, and that's something I love about Nikon. So, for example, when I shooting a wedding, right? Something I've been doing a lot lately is that I would take clips in between. So that client might not want video, but they might have a nice moment, somebody giving a speech that they might look back on. So I'm there taking photos, bam, switch to video, easily change my settings quickly, continue recording, stop record, back to photo, like if nothing happened. And those clips will be meaningful to the clients. And I found for usability, ergonomics, getting to what I need, Nikon is perfect. So, I remember Cassius was like, you find all Nikon cameras look the same. Yo, if it broke, don't bother change it. Literally, Nikon doesn't have to do nothing to their body-wise or ergonomics. Their only shortcoming is that they was too late to the party. So Sony was able to.
Yeah, so even if it is, they might be the best dressed person. You come half hour before the party done, so nobody.
You're late for the wedding. Yeah, it's like
I even know if you're making it to the wedding, you done in the reception, food done, share, scrub done,
and everybody watching you like, wait, is now you reach?
Yeah, exactly. So they had to see how that works out for them. We wish them all the best. We hope that
because a win for them is a win for everybody. So you see everybody winning with that.
Let's just say that between the Z6 II and now, everybody's been fine.
Yeah, everybody's doing fine.
Except the Nikon users.
Yeah, we have a little one day of celebration, and then we see tomorrow. Well, I see Canon has a leak for, I don't know what Canon is doing.
What, that little vlogging handycam thing?
I don't know what.
Watch.
Well,
men like big sexy pull up.
Who's that?
Trademark.
Is which one he chats you in?
No, it's the person who now say Team Nikon, and I go make him out.
Team Nikon.
Yeah.
There's a couple of people is Team Nikon or no? Oh, it's the photo challenger.
Yeah.
Big Papa.
Names have been hidden to protect the identities.
But yeah, Nikon users could be happy, but my main problem is that Nikon, before the year done, needs to update the Z6 too. It is too far.
In terms of what, the firmware or the
video. Like video. When you look at the A7 IV, it's like the logical choice. Like if you had money, you just buy A7 IV. That's it. It needs to go head to head. It needs better video internally. It needs better autofocus. For example, I was watching Illumix launch, and they had this moment where it was tracking a lady. She was walking through a crowd, as in there were persons in front and behind her. Persons passed in front of her, and the focus did not change.
Right.
Nikon does not have that ability. Somebody just pop in front, bam. It don't matter what focus area on. It doesn't have this way to be able to intelligently with AI stay on the subject. Any little thing. Sometimes you're shooting something and it's like nothing moving the frame, and it just decide to out of focus.
Yeah.
It does be, I mean, in the real world, it's manual focus you're using, but I've seen instances where
not even that. In the real world, those things fail, because even with the fantastic, and I do stress fantastic autofocus of the FX30, for example, I had it in a lockdown shot and it still hunted. It only happened twice within a 2-hour period, but it happened. And you have to decide if that's something that affects you in a big way or not.
But I guarantee you, this is Z6 giving you that twice every couple of minutes.
And like Brandon saying, team, whatever is the best at the moment. And you know what? Pick up the bandwagoners every time. I am getting to a point where I am camera agnostic as well.
I'm but I
whatever the job needs me to use.
I honestly I'm reaching that point too as well, because it's not you keep more money in your pocket. Remember, the aim for these manufacturers is to get you to buy their product. Yeah. If I could keep more money in my pocket and do other things in life by being brand agnostic, I don't see myself like before being overly excited about getting a new camera or getting a new lens.
It shouldn't even get. I mean, we get excited because this is what we like. The group is gas. The whole thing that brought us all together is the love of cameras and the love of equipment. And everybody who's here at 10:30 in the morning on a Wednesday, they only here because of the love of equipment.
True.
But at some point, we have to separate that passion from reality.
Yeah.
And the reality is that if you do photography or video as a business and the camera is a tool in that business, it has to be the right tool for the job. And the minute it stops being the right tool for the job, whether it's your brand or not, what you like to use or not, it's not going to matter.
Correct.
That's why you have men switching.
Because my aim personally, yes, I love photography, but I always in the back of my mind would like to be on a film set and create a film.
Right. And the minute you step foot on a film set, depending on the capacity you step into that set with, you'll never touch a camera again, because work is very, very, very separated and granular.
Correct.
All right. So we have you back?
Yeah, I'm back for the hour. The stream is very long.
Yeah, I mean, we could write it off at any point in time, but we just tried to go over the product review for Truston, who came in late.
Right.
And then we had the special feature by Big Sexy. just came in to make sure that everything is 100 with the Nikon broadcast.
Nice. Do we have any specific features that we really like about this Z8?
For me, it was just the internal video. That's all I was excited about. The bigger body. And just internal video.
I say internal video.
Sorry, internal 10-bit.
Internal 10-bit.
Okay. Something that, I could grow it and just work on playing around and learning better, because I have the machine to do it. I remember when I had a machine before and I tried to put on videos and I'm just trying to scrub through footage. And I had a nice, decent graphics card and it just seeing glitching, sticking, and it's like, I was turned off from video. But now I have a machine that I could throw the kitchen sink at.
Right.
I'm excited to learn color grading as a whole.
Nice.
So I'm excited for the internal.
I'm excited for the 8K 60.
Don't know when I'll ever use it.
Did they say if it had a crop? Or how much was the crop?
On the 4K, no, we didn't see anything else. All they're saying is that, well, this is kind of understood. You would be able to get 4K Super 35, which is excellent for when we adapt lenses. So I think it's time to get a Nikon Z to PL mount adapter and probably show off what it could do.
They have that?
Interesting.
Of course.
They have it PL to E mount as well.
Yeah, PL to E mount. PL to L mount.
So all right.
Yeah, so it goes back to what we were saying. If you're serious about video, cinematographer, autofocus is nice, but
and it would be nice, you know, I could have my own Z8 and know that I could jump in or follow imports and I have another Z8. Like I don't want to fight up our own in too. I just know I could have this as a backup on an event. I could have a videography job and know that I'm getting the same footage from A and B. So I think overall, I mean, I know Nikon might have one camera in their follow imports website, but I look forward to at least, you know, we should have been dropping pre-order links.
No, I'm good.
Good?
I don't like the YouTuber shill vibes. Not yet. What about you, Kyle? Anything specific that you love about the Z8? Anything you look at all?
I mean,
anything that excites you from just being a creator standpoint?
I think he's safe. He's safe.
No, like if we had two Z8s right now, could you see yourself going on a job and say, hey, let me just try out these Z8s?
No. Sorry, go on.
It depends on the support I have. It depends on if it is I have people there. Let me get borrowed that now.
It's you.
Looking for.
I don't realize what happened there.
Yeah, I'm watching it count down.
Well, look the Edrichin. Put it back from another side.
Yeah.
No. Sorry, bro. I'm used
it'll have to be the 8K. It'll have to be the 8K. I mean, I would just shoot that for shooting's sake. Maybe I might do run up home and do some stock footage and call that judge.
Did you ever shoot 8K on the R5 though?
I did once, and I had no idea what to do with it because I didn't have the processing power.
I know you do.
Now I do, but now I have no idea. Like that's the thing. So then you're looking at the options on the table. The R5, is it giving you 8K RAW? No? They get to that point?
Yeah, or is it?
And it didn't have some kind of update that was supposed to drop recently for the R5?
I think I need to try
some update.
I'm not familiar. What would be nice is if, unlike the R5, the Z8 could go longer.
Yeah. Also, I mean, again,
you might still have to come back to buy Atmos for that.
Yeah. The heat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if it is you tell me you're putting two Z9s or Z8s in front of me and how to use them,
I'll be disgusting. Though.
Yeah. I'll be like, yeah, let me get a 4 terabyte day just for this one job.
Easy.
And imagine if the client come back and have a couple of revisions and whatnot. It's like you can't even delete that footage. You had a.
You talking about you getting that? I'm not telling them I shoot an 8K. They're gonna get a 1080 delivery just like they asked for and expected, and life goes on.
Yeah, I excited, man. I excited.
But again,
I'm happy for Nikon.
It's all about the workflow because we get into the point where for me, we now deciding let me do this 4K thing all the time. And it's fun. It's cool to be able to edit 4K like how 1080 is and all of that stuff. But then you end up, the job is finished. The job is delivered. Why is this 500 gigabyte project folder still on my drive?
500 gigabyte.
The 4K 60p is 422.
Yeah, that 422 is going to run up your storage real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Or stress out the
full
computer.
HD proxy files, ProRes RAW, NRAW, NLog profile.
With the proxies into now?
Yeah, I think they would remember they had that the slower card would do the proxy.
Look, we even get Kyle to see something nice on Nikon. Nikon, I know they're trying.
All right, Nikon.
Yeah.
If I could
you could even download examples. What? You could they send in sample files. So guys, if you go on Nikon's website, you could get Z8 sample video files.
That's CF Express Type B card. That's the same card from the Red.
Oh, Red is CFast 2.0.
Yeah, the still
CF
still
Express is the Nikon Z6 and
The
Z9.
R5. Nikon Z6, R5, and the
Z9 too.
No, what we have now.
No, the Black Magic is the same one as the Red.
CFast.
Right?
Yeah, same as the Red.
Plus, you have all this focus peaking and everything in camera, focus peaking everything. Eh?
Yeah, but again, you will still end up having to put an external monitor.
Yeah.
That's a joke.
You all realize this camera is 2 pounds?
So it was slightly
Bro.
lighter than the
Strong cameraman 2023, 2024, 2025.
Oh, the Z9 is 5 pounds. Oh wow, let me see how much is that Z6 too.
Yeah, as Truston saying, we had a fight for that extra space. Bro, to be honest with you,
oh no, Z6 is 2.83 pounds.
I forgot what the concept was, but the concept essentially is that every year
it's lighter than
storage
Z6.
just doubles.
It lighter than Z6 too?
Yeah.
No.
No. I read any wrong specs.
Oh.
Sorry. Z6 is 1.4 pounds.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry, Kyle. Go ahead.
No. I was just replying to Truston there. It's like, yeah, memory either doubles in capacity or drops in price every year.
And
like,
also the all-electronic shutter, you can look forward to possibly having your camera longer. Because, I've had the shutters feel...
What is the jello effect on the electronic shutter?
I don't know. We will have to look at the real-world reviews later. Because
be
today's National Nikon Z8 Day. When I finish with the stream, I edited no photos and nothing. I just watching every single video on YouTube, immerse myself in a little 4K content, and be like, yeah, see what I missed.
Brandon in shock. How is it that it weighs more than the GFX? Gasp.
Yeah, so they have Nikon has skin softening in camera for video. Like, they need all that, but
at that point, you might as well. What do you think they're gonna do? They're probably gonna have some sort of app integration to have a second monitor on an iPad or something.
Oh, they have to.
Because the screen is gonna be too small. Why are you telling me you're giving me peeking this, that on this tiny screen?
They have to bring those stuff. Sony already led the way, unfortunately.
Sony has a janky app.
No, the new one.
The new one is good.
Yeah, the new one is better.
Nikon have an app too?
I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, Nikon has the upgraded Snap Bridge.
Yeah, it's all right.
That's not the answer we're looking for.
I just send a couple of files every now and again.
So that's what Sony did.
I feel it faster to just pull out my SD card and trick it in your computer than go to Snap Bridge.
Yeah.
Considering the speed of the SD card on the MacBook, I understand.
But what that does though is it gives you additional options to display stuff on the fly, tethering. We saw what's his name? The DJ, gosh.
Yes, Titan
did that. He did an awesome display. So while he was shooting fire images, the client was just...
And he had the monitor already set up in a vertical orientation.
So he had the monitor here in the studio vertical, and he handed off an iPad to the client. So the client was able to view all of that on the fly. So he had live feedback, and the client had their own private screen.
But can you just plug your iPad straight into your camera?
I am not sure about compatibility.
Capture One, you just plug from your iPad straight to your camera.
But this is wireless though.
Well, yeah, true. That would be nicer than have to...
Wireless, and it was keeping up.
You would say it's Sony was using?
Yeah, but I'm not sure if it was through Capture One, if he was getting those features.
And it's a Nikon.
Capture One, so it could just be a Capture One thing.
Yeah.
So Nikon should be able to do that.
I would imagine, but it was a really sexy
I'll give it a try.
My thing is,
because clients love to be... You see, when clients are able to get live feedback for in-studio shoot, that is
really nice.
It does. You see the excitement in their eyes. It'd be like, okay, cool. And you're like, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Talking about sexy, around here, like, looking sexy, bro.
Yeah, but my face not that sexy. That's the bad part.
Yeah, no homo. Yeah. Again, anything else we want to touch on the live?
No, I mean...
No, I think we ought to save something for tomorrow, man.
Yeah. What's happening tomorrow?
So, no, I could flip tables on me, Sion, and
I think tomorrow we ought More we had to figure out what we're gonna really talk about. But it's just gonna be a reintroduction of the team, reintroduction of the conversations.
Yeah, we could probably do a monthly thing.
Yeah, maybe let's do an evaluation of what the market is right now because it's been a
What have we learned since the pandemic?
Not even that. We've learned a lot since the last live.
Trust me.
So it's just a little bit of how things have changed.
I like this toppy lighting.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, just need a little backlight to go with it.
Big up to
we
Nikon.
could put a tube behind everybody.
Yeah, you have me on the live there.
I'm gonna cut to you.
You know, we just shameless plug for Team Nikon.
So
remember?
Embarrassed.
Yeah, you wanna hold it right side up?
Yeah.
Team Nikon.
I'm so embarrassed.
You know, if I could be as tall as Wizard Kelly, my life would be so much easier, Phil. I'm not gonna lie.
You know, the only problem is that these 1.8 glass feels cheap. But trust me. No, they really feel and look cheap, but they get the job done. Don't let nobody. You know something I forgot to say? I don't know what it did. But you remember when you were shooting DSLR? Ain't nobody want an F4 lens, me personally.
Still don't know F4 lens.
Speak for yourself.
F4 not.
I don't know what Nikon did,
F4
but
with IS on a ticket.
those F4 lenses are literally as sharp as a 2.8. Literally. I can't even believe it. I've played with raw files and everything, and I was like, wow. You're telling me? I don't know if it was because of mirrorless technology or they decided, you know what, we're going to just spend our money, but F4 used to be completely shit. Wait.
God, we went 2 hours without cussing.
Sorry.
2 hours. Now we're going to get demonetized.
Don't read me out of church, but basically, F4, the Nikon F4 glass right now are basically as sharp as a 2.8. So that's something you can look forward to that. Even if you come over to the mirrorless system, you don't have to look with this day in our F4 lens, and you could still afford to buy cheaper lens and get great image quality. Yeah.
F4, boy.
I want to buy it, but I'm telling you, if money is an issue,
for the budget minded,
trust me, you wouldn't be disappointed.
I
actually have one F4 that I honestly don't utilize much, and I need to literally go out of my way to use it. Is the 14 to 30 F4. I love that focal range, but I don't use it as much, and I need to force myself to start using it.
At that point, it wouldn't just make sense to go over to third party, though.
What do you mean?
Like third party glass, more affordable, faster.
But what Nikon has, you see, you're looking at Nikon.
Oh, Nikon.
Yeah.
Nikon problems.
Nikon problems. You have Tamron, who have the rebadge 28 to 75, which is a good 2.8.
You know, Nikon
I recommend
own part of Tamron, right?
I didn't know that.
I believe so. Don't quote me on that, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I like third party glass.
Well, come on.
Phil
if it wasn't for mirrorless, I was King Sigma. Sigma anytime, any day.
Exactly, Phil. F1.2 or not.
But wait, I don't know what we're talking about. It's not just the 50 is 1.2 and Sony range.
What we have in Sony, that's 1.2.
Some people,
yeah,
some people waiting for the 85.
Only talking about one lens.
No. He is setting the stage. He is looking at Nikon's 85 1.2 and dreading that Sony hasn't given him that as yet.
Yeah,
you understand?
Sexy.
Nah, boy, you see. Anyway, I said enough.
Yeah, guys, let's start to wrap up the live. Anything you want to drop in, Ronnie? Anything?
No, I just want to say big up to the Nikon shooters. Keep shooting. Don't let nobody.
Don't let Babylon hold it down.
Yeah, don't let Babylon hold it down. I know. If you had the money, you'd probably buy a Sony camera. I would too. But
damn.
Just use what you have. Focus on lighting. Focus on editing.
Oh my God.
And at the end of the day, try to save more money than spend.
I assure you, this is not the sort of marketing Nikon was expecting today. We basically applaud them and clong them in the same breath every single time.
At least I'm consistent. Shout out to the Panasonic guys. It was nice.
Now, but in all honesty, I would say big up to Nikon. You gave us what we needed. However, we are expecting you to keep raising the bar every year going forward.
Hey. Big up to my barbecue supplier, Gate Boys. Gate boys. I think it's Gate boys for lunch.
Yeah, you throw it Tony's, man.
Nah, Tony's is for special occasions.
This is a special occasion.
Hey.
Fish and chips?
Big up Tony's fish and chips.
Yeah, boy. They're consistent.
Yeah, they're good.
If everything in life was as consistent as Tony's fish and chips, life would be happy.
But look at a good example. You know, why they're consistent? They set a price point that is appropriate and they set the hours to limit their availability.
Yeah,
Correct.
boy. Sometimes on a Saturday night, I'd be like,
a Sunday boy, and it's like, damn, boy.
Let that be a lesson to all creative. You can't cater to everybody and still do well.
Exactly.
You
Tony's Shrimp and Chips, 773-7272. They are the official fish and chip suppliers of Affordable Import Studios, AI Studios. Big up to them. Definitely check them out if you're in the area at Sikoro. They close promptly at 2 p.m. though, so don't stick. Anything from you, Kyle?
Nah, Nikon fanboy that much. I respect Nikon greatly. I started on a Nikon. What was it? Is it D, right? The D's come first?
Yeah. Well,
right.
Bro.
Pause.
Bro.
Pause. Pause. But yeah. D90 on set.
Yeah, the D90. Well,
the
you had
DP, the
in fact,
DP,
I had a
the DP on the first run
D70,
set.
you know.
Yeah.
I had a Nikon.
I now clean a D70S.
A D70S?
Bro, it had fungus on the sensor. That is why I had to step out.
I had a Nikon.
I couldn't even charge him man to clean the sensor.
Wow.
I was like, bro, this is me giving you
all your hard luck, eh? The
what? Cameras?
Tell we party done.
The
Both
camera's gone?
Yeah.
But they hear any audio?
Of course we can.
Yeah, but I just want to say
this is BBC News.
drop the mix before some life-threatening news.
Yeah. So
but anyway,
we know the cameras down, guys. We have the cameras set up on battery power away from us.
Wow, it's real long, boy.
It's not necessarily going to be worth it for us to go and change our batteries.
Yeah.
We will pick up again tomorrow.
Tomorrow evening. What time
Tomorrow
starting? 7?
Well, the tradition was 8, eh?
Nah, bro, I'm not going to 8 o'clock. Are they mad?
Wait, boy.
The place getting
8 o'clock, bro.
Sticky.
No, we safe inside the studio, but 8 o'clock, bro.
Yeah, like we 45 is up.
All
right.
Wranglers?
No, there's not wranglers, bro. The studio is very safe at night.
Yeah.
I think we'll be on tomorrow even at 7.
Yeah, 7:30 for the latest.
Yeah. Hey, Sony longevity battery. We get 2 hours plus.
Real world testing.
Yeah. Look at that.
And one battery.
One battery.
Yeah. So you know what's going on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Later, guys.
Later.
Yeah. Thank you all for
Somebody
tuning in.
camera
See
sit
you
down,
all
boy.
tomorrow.